to use their minds intelligently and set off on the journey of their lives with knowledge as their biggest asset. Keeping this in mind led to the genesis of PP Savani University, Surat, a seat of higher learning with a clear intent to establish a gold standard in higher education. It is a sincere and passionate initiative to unlock the true value of learning, to stimulate one to inquire and create, to ingrain excellence as a core competence, to enhance the sterling qualities of human character, to explore through inquiry, to experience through engagement, to empower through performance. Explore, experience, empower. Spread on a lush 100-acre campus on the National Highway near Kosamba, Surat, PP Savani University presents an array of programs through its constituent schools: School of Engineering, School of Sciences, School of Physiotherapy, School of Nursing, School of Management, School of Architecture, School of Design, School of Liberal Arts. These schools leverage a futuristic campus infrastructure, impressive faculty profiles, a talented student cohort, modern technology ecosystem to facilitate and improve learning tools, two-way academia-industry engagements, proactive international collaborations and strong outreach initiatives to the community. These initiatives extend the vision of the group, which has a strong footprint in education and social activities in South Gujarat. As a group, PP Savani showcases wide recognition through its chain of schools for nearly 30 years. Led by Chairman Shri Vallabhbhai Savani, over 45,000 students are enrolled today in 11 schools and adorn the merit list in board evaluations year after year. As a successful businessman and an active social worker, he has reached out to the community through a tertiary cardiac hospital for the economically weak, an AIDS village for social outcasts, an annual ceremony of mass marriages for girls who don't have a father, and extended support to army widows in the recent insurgencies on the border. Even at the university, free ships have been sanctioned for the economically weaker yet accomplished students. With these core values embedded in the group's ethos, the university aims to elevate the evolving ecosystem of higher learning to international levels. International faculty recruitments and exchange, international student internships, international symposiums and workshops, foreign language labs, library connect, research and consulting, conclaves and seminars are on the anvil to extend a transformational experience to all the stakeholders at the university. It is the right time to start that journey. Welcome to the future.
Morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you for the confirmation. So, I welcome everyone to day 5 online faculty development program on harnessing AI to revolutionize pharmaceutical education and research. So, now today we do have our speaker, Dr. Muralidhara A, sir. So, I welcome Doctor for this session. So, Dr. Muralidhara sir is a part of JMP Global team and heads JMP Academic for India. He holds a BTech, MBA, and PhD. He has served more than 22 years in analytics and data science industry, worked for Genpact, Target, and Dansky, holding various leadership positions. He is also a trainer in statistical data analysis, data science, and ML and design of experiments, and has conducted workshops for NIPER, IISc, IIM, IIT, NIT, and other academic institutions. He has authored several case studies for teaching and also co-author for a book, Machine Learning for Business Analytics from Wiley International Publication. He continues to learn and share a statistical thinking for problem solving. With this brief introduction, I like to invite Dr. Muralidhara sir for his session on demystifying AI and ML for pharmaceutical science. So I request sir, please you can unmute and share your screen and start the session.
Thank you so much. Hopefully, I'm audible. At the same time, you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well, when I say this, okay. So, good morning, all of you. It's a pleasure to be part of this learning journey. Thanks to all the leaders of Saudi University, especially the School of Pharmacy, for organizing this and giving me an opportunity to share my learnings and thoughts. And I also thank advance all the participants for their quality time. I know you've taken out 2 hours of your time on a beautiful Friday morning. For the next 2 hours, here is the plan. So, okay. So, we're going to start with assuming that there are a lot many students are here at the same time, the people who might not have the complete exposure to AI and ML. So I'll start with what is AI and ML, the way I've learned, and then we'll move on to closely to what is AI and ML in pharma or for pharma, and then I will demonstrate some of the case studies in machine learning, focusing pharmaceutical sciences, some of the problems, how those problems were solved using machine learning techniques. So that's the cases and demonstration, third session. And then we'll leave some points to ponder on. So this is an area where everybody's talking about it and has gained utmost importance at this point of time. So we will leave some of the points so that you can also explore further. Good to go. So we'll have these kind of sections, and I think we'll have a Q&A at the end of the session. At the same time, if there's something which you want to ask, please note it down. If not, all the questions can be answered in the end. I'll also leave my credentials so that the email address and phone number so that you can reach out to me at any point of time. Okay. So now here's something which what you can expect in this session is, okay. So you expect a lot many jargons as well, while that is not the focus to give you a lot of jargons, but yeah, ML has a little more statistical and technical jargons. We will introduce you some of the jargons and try to clarify most of them, okay? And the most important thing is, okay, so I didn't use AI to create this presentation. So this is the most important thing. So so this is a presentation which I thought from my experience being part of 24 years of industry, and then working with closely with some of the pharmaceutical companies also, and they have expressed the thought process being the problem solving. That's where it goes. Good to go. So one of the biggest assumption in online sessions is you're able to hear me. You can see my screen. Okay, this is the biggest assumption. I keep asking the question because just to ensure that everything goes well. In case of anything, please do respond. Yeah, it's going well. Okay, so let's start with, this is my favorite slide to start with, okay? So if you look at the companies, for the people who are using a building AI, I say people building AI, when I say AI being used everywhere and it's most desired skill in the industry, it's no more a specialized skill. I know back those days in the 90s, we used to call statistics as one of the specialized skills. It is no more a specialized skill, whether it is an academic research or commercial research or teaching or industrial usage. So AI is enabling people and organizations not only solve problems, but also capitalize on the opportunities. Okay. So given that, looking from an industry perspective, okay, many people are building AI solutions. Now, these many people are building AI solutions. For example, SAS, which is my parent company, IBM. Okay. So there are a lot many companies which are building AI. Let's see, these many people are using AI. Okay. Industries and companies which are using AI solutions, be it automobile, retailing, life sciences, pharmaceutical sciences, okay, agricultural sciences, semiconductor industry, all these many people are using. Now, the best part is these many people are talking about AI. This is the best part as we see is The people sometimes talk about AI, they're neither the people who use AI, they don't know how to build AI. And I think this is the best part. The most interesting thing is that many people are talking about AI currently. If you look closely, these people neither know how to build AI nor how to use AI. So we should be a little more careful about these people who don't know how to build and don't know how to use it. So think carefully is what I'm talking, especially in a pharmaceutical sciences where the risk levels are really high. Automobile, I always see this example to students. If the RN doesn't function, or if the RN malfunctions in an automobile, you can always replace it, but there's nothing to do with stunt. So if the margin of error in pharmaceutical and life sciences is very, very small. Risks are very high. So we should be very careful in choosing who are the people who are building AI and what are the success stories and how can we learn from them. So given this slide, that's where I bring in. I work for a company called SAS, don't worry, which is a 44-year-old company, and we're doing this from ages, okay? We've been focused on statistics, data science, AI, and ML. And if you look at the Fortune 500 or 1,000 companies, majority of them using. And one of the products of SAS is Jump, and I work for that company, okay? It's a statistical discovery software. If you look at this, including regulatory authorities use this software. So that's what the company is all about. So I'm happy that I'm an employee of SAS and I work for the Jump division, and I'm talking here in front of you to share my thoughts on AI ML. Let's demystify AI ML. This is very important. Okay. Looking at this is AI. So AI is what is AI defined as? It's a broad science of computers imitating or mimicking humans or human abilities. That's what we're talking about. So how can we imitate or mimic? I'm not going to use the word replace. I'm very cautious in using that word. Okay, we are mimicking human capabilities and abilities, and that is artificial AI. I'll just stay away from using the word what is AI. I continue to use AI. I don't explain from an acronym perspective yet. So ML, so-called machine learning, is a subset of AI that trains the machine how to learn, or it's a method how machines learn from the data. It's a subset of AI, machine learning. And in turn, there is a subset of machine learning called deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning again that uses multi-layer neural networks called deep neural networks to stimulate the complex decision-making power of the human brain. End of the day, one of the most important thing human brain does is the decision-making, okay, or thinking or decision-making. So some form of deep learning powers most of the AI applications in our day-to-day life. So all these are under one umbrella. And this is, if you look at the history, so 1950s is what we are talking about. Artificial intelligence, the word was coined 1950s, machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so looking at all these things, end of the day, it's a combination of mathematics, programming, and problem solving. That's where we are getting into. So one umbrella called statistical thinking. I think it never has changed since from last 25, 30 years, I've been working with this. The statistics has become a foundation for all these things. And it's all under one umbrella called statistical thinking. That's the premises I want to start with. Okay, so moving ahead. So I'll just try to understand what is innate intelligence. Okay, so I'm trying to bring in artificial intelligence definition, closely moving towards it. So human beings have innate intelligence, which is also defined as the intelligence that governs the activity in our body. Okay, so this is the intelligence which causes a mango tree to grow out of a little seed, or a single-celled organism to a giant elephant. So that is called innate intelligence in any living organisms, including human beings. And then there is another component called ingenuity or human ingenuity, which is called skill component. All working out how to achieve things or skill at inventing new things, especially. This is the way in which human minds have influenced how to think, how to work, how to play, how to construct, how to conduct friendship, how to establish relationships, how to interact with each other, how to find solutions, how to create problems also. So transform things and rationalize the thought. That's what we are talking about. Okay. So human ingenuity includes 5 important components. I call it as the first one is seeing, okay. The second one is hearing, and then comes reading, okay, and then feeling, and then all these things are speaking, writing, feeling, thinking. This is human ingenuity for all of us, okay. So given that, detecting or identifying, understanding context of objects, people, places, and things, communicating insights, ingesting diverse inputs such as environmental conditions, and also looking at feeling, feeling as a temperature, how do you feel temperature, precipitation, wind, biometrics, heart rate, okay, perspiration, utilizing sensors. All these things will help us to do recognition and comprehension. This is the ultimate thing of all these things, is we are able to recognize and then we are able to comprehend. Okay, so you might have Internet of Things, all those things coming in the picture, but end of the day, essence is how do you recognize things? How do you, after you recognize through some of the sensors, how do you comprehend using your human ingenuity or innate intelligence? Now that sets the stage for defining AI. So we have human intelligence and human ingenuity. I request. Okay, thank you so much. Here we have innate intelligence and human ingenuity. You try to transfer this component to machines. Bringing in machines here. Okay, so machines include both software and hardware. Okay, so when we talk about machines, it includes both hardware and software. How do you transfer this human ingenuity plus innate intelligence to an extent? Through learning called supervised learning or unsupervised learning or reinforced learning. These are the 3 components through which you transfer those ingenuity and innate intelligence to machines as much as possible. And that's the capability, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement, so that what is the ultimate objective? So that machines can read, write, and do math. This is very important. Doing mathematics is the most integral component of analytics. That means to comprehend and recognition. Okay, comprehension is kind of, you can call it as math. Read and write and math more intelligently. This is what we are talking about, and this is the essence of artificial intelligence, or so-called AI. So I'm trying to define what is AI is. It's a science of training the machines, okay, to perform human tasks. Very important. It's a broad science of mimicking human abilities. It was invented in 1950s while exploring how computers can solve problems, extensively used in defense those days. Now it's everywhere. So how does AI learn? Only innate intelligence machines have is what we give it to them. Okay, so whatever we give, that's the informational learning what they have. We provide machines ability to examine examples and create machine learning models based on inputs and desired outputs. And we do this in different ways, as I mentioned, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced learning. Okay, so now what does this is all about us? So if you look at this, machine learning or the AI uses data. Okay, so when I say data, data is nothing but a quantified observation is called data. And just to give you a data, we started the session at 10:2 or 10:5, exactly after my introduction, 10:5. That's a data for you. That means I've observed and I quantified my observation, that becomes data. In my case, I observed it. In an organization setup, humans observe orals. It's the machines which observe, the sensors which observe temperature. Okay, so data can be numbers, it can be characters, it can be video, text, vectors, image, it can be big data. It can come from diverse background as well. So it can be granular, large volumes, extremely diverse points of data. So now we are moving from extremely diverse points of data to point of view. Okay, so this is exactly the journey of AI. You have a lot of data, you want to have a point of view. That is where we are looking at. So I call this as D2D journey. When I say D2D, it means data to decision, okay? Because human brains are equipped to make decisions, but now you're using data to make decisions. And the journey from data to decision is what AI enables us. So now I come to this, the important aspect of the AI. Okay. So AI is also defined in different perspective. When I say perspective, AI, we always name it as artificial intelligence, which looks very artificial for me. Now, if you look at the big industries, leaders of AI, they also define AI as augmented intelligence. Okay, it's very important. So it's an augmented intelligence which helps humans, or so-called experts, make evidence-based informed decisions while machines do the time-consuming work. Okay? Important. Humans make the decisions or informed decisions. Machines make the time-consuming work. That's what it's all about. Okay, that means it is a cooperative environment in which man and machine work seamlessly. That's the most important, the word seamlessly. We define AI, and most of the leaders, industry leaders like SAS define AI, anything that makes machines more intelligently. We like to think of AI as an augmented intelligence. Okay. We also speak about AI should not attempt to replace human experts, but rather extend human capabilities. We use scaling up human capabilities, the word we use this, and accomplish tasks that neither humans nor machines could do on their own. So AI should accomplish those tasks where there's a synergy creation in task accomplishment. Okay, so now you see internet has given us access to large amount of information, and we get faster information, and then we have distributed computing and internet of things to massive amounts of data use. We have a lot of unstructured data to be understood, text data coming from social networking. So with augmented intelligence, I redefine now AI. I'm using the word augmented intelligence. It's not artificial. You can call it as artificial, but it augments. That's the better word according to me. We're putting information that subject matter experts need at their fingertips. That means how can we move information closer to the decision makers? This is very important. Okay. AI should give me quick, reliable information so that I can make better decision as an individual. That's where AI. Okay. We want experts to scale up their capabilities and let the machines do the time-consuming work. That's where AI is focusing. That is augmented intelligence. Good to go? And just onboarding. Okay, so just to give you context from an industry perspective, close to 16 trillion US dollars. That's what we are looking at. AI is here to stay. With the promise of transforming the way the world works, whether we like it or not, it's going to be here. That's the most important. So PwC study says $16 trillion of GDP will be added between now and 2030. Okay, on the basis of AI. We're not telling this is the component, is the enhanced value addition. That's the best part. Okay. And this is a never before seen scale of economic impact. And it's just not in IT industry, it's happening in across manufacturing industry, and life science being on the forefront, and pharmaceutical science is on the top of it. I always say that. So moving ahead, few more. Key to success. AI is key to success, be it academic research, industrial research, or commercialization of your thoughts. That means production, mass production. So AI automates repetitive learning and discovers through data. This is very important. If you look at statistical discovery, or that's the most important work close to our heart. How can you discover insights from the data? That's what AI does. Adds to your intelligence. And the best part is it adapts to your progressive learning. That means through algorithms. And it gets into the deep of the data. That's the most important thing. And sometimes accuracy is amazing. Incredible accuracy, which sometimes normal human beings cannot reach there, especially deep neural networks or double deep learning. We call it as deep learning. And I always call it as AI is like a middle class. Okay, this is my favorite example. Okay, so middle class people, what we want maximum value by investing minimum amount of time and effort. We want, just to give a Hindi analogy, saste mein acha quality. This is what AI is going to help us out. We'll get most out of the data with minimum effort is what we are looking at. So we want AI to be effective, at the same time efficient in helping our lives to make it a little better. Okay. Uh, okay. So now, a little bit of AI history. I don't want to spend too much of time. Okay, so I started exploring neural networking back in '99, for example. I said when I started, people said, "Oh, neural network, it's already old. Why are you thinking in that way?" Okay, so just to give you context, it started with 1950s. The word was coined in 1956, thanks to DAX. DAX stands for data volumes, advanced algorithms, computing power, and as well as storage. Because there is a lot of data and advanced algorithms, now that we have supercomputers and as well as storage capabilities, now we started using these algorithms to solve business problems. For example, DARP, a Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, completed most of the street mapping projects in 1970s only. Okay, so I think 2003 is where we got personal assistance. I know long before Siri and Alexa, Cortana were household names using AI. So probably would have seen most of you the Hollywood movies and science fiction novels depicting AI as a human-like robots that take over the world, those kind of things. So the current evolution of AI technology isn't that scary. So I use the word friction. Okay, so we'll talk about that. It's very smart now. Okay, so it has evolved over a period of time, and it offers specific benefits in every industry, and keeping pharma in focus. I'm going to demonstrate some of the examples in machine learning towards the next half an hour. Okay, so now levels of AI. This is very important. Where are we exactly when you look at the overall continuum of considering the length and breadth? We can divide, or as the industry divides AI into three families. Okay, the first one is the narrow AI, or so-called weak AI, which is applied to specific domain. For example, your language translators, okay, or virtual assistants, or so-called self-driving cars with little more support. Okay, your AI-powered web searches. Okay, so you would have used Gemini for that matter. Your recommendation engines. So intelligent spam filters, I'm just giving you. So these can do only specific tasks, but they cannot learn new ones. Okay, so whatever has been programmed, based on that, excuse me, they make decisions. So it's a narrow capability of AI. So they're called smart assistants, we call it as. Then comes little more strong AI, or also it's also called generalized AI. Okay. This is the AI that can interact and operate wide variety of independent and as well as unrelated tasks. So it can learn new tasks to solve problems, and it can teach itself, okay, new strategies. Okay, so it can solve unfamiliar problems while narrow AI could not solve it. Now that it's a general capability, or so-called machine intelligence, we are trying to replicate humans here. Okay, that's where slowly migrating from narrow AI to strong AI. Exactly, this is the place where we are in. Now the next version is called super AI, which is so-called conscious AI. Now we are trying to translate the consciousness of human beings into machines. So this is the most interesting part. You know, there is a neural science, there are behavioral science. There are not many things which are getting inside this so-called super AI. It is the ultimate level of AI with human level consciousness, which kind of self-aware AI, you can call it as. We are not yet there. Okay, we are adequately kind of defining it, unable to do that. Create consciousness inside of it. That's where the future is looking at. Okay, so it's computer science plus electrical engineering. There is a psychology involved in it. Okay, there's a software, there's a hardware, there's a statistics, mathematics. That's what the question is. Do we completely believe in fully automated driving cars in Bangalore or in Delhi? Still not yet there. Can we get operated completely? A cardiac surgery can be operated at a village with completely by a robot? Not yet there. Okay, so from an adoption perspective, we are not yet there. That's where super AI, we are getting there. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's augmented intelligence, according to me, and it scales up the capabilities of human beings. That's where we are going there. Okay, so few more AI enablers are so-called. Additionally, several technologies enable and support AI. The first one is the GPU, we call it as it's a graphical processing units. And they're key to AI because they provide heavy computational power that are required for iterative processing. Okay. So training neural networks require big data plus computing power, your NVIDIA, AMD, okay, Intel. So all have massive graphical processing units. You're talking about supercomputers, quantum computing, those capabilities. So this is one important component. IoT, so-called the Internet of Things, it generates massive amounts of data from connected devices. Most of it is, sometimes it is not analyzed. Automated models or automating the models with AI will allow to use more of it. This is something which I was hearing recently by Siemens Healthineers, a couple of people in Siemens Healthineers, and then the Fractal Analytics. They were talking some of the things where how can we, the machines can itself analyze and then faster than decision making. And so especially in the health science setup. And so there's very interesting case studies out there. You can read about that. The third thing is the API, so-called the application programming interface. As I mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to talk about a little more jargons, and these are some of the jargons which I'm trying to talk about. These are the packages or portable packages of code that makes it possible to add AI functionality to your parts. You need programming. One of the packages or programming languages is Python or C or Java codes. These are all you build packages so that once you build AI system, it has to be deployed. That means it should be used also. Okay. So they can add image, it could be image recognition capabilities to your home security systems, or else your radiology analysis and X-ray analysis. Okay. Creating captions and headlines and call out interesting patterns, insights in the data, all these things. You build an API so that that program talks to the AI machine and then talks. So in summary, not to confuse you too much, okay, with jargons, the goal of AI is to provide a software or a set of capabilities that can reason on input and explain an output. This is very important. We also call it as explainable AI. Okay, AI should explain. So AI will provide human-like interactions with software and offer decision support for specific outputs. So these are the components. We will try to explore these individually, and I'll definitely show some of the case studies in pharma in hands-on using a tool called JUMP. I'll show you a machine learning case study, a dissolution failure case study, and as a orally disintegrated or orally dispersible film ODF case study. And we can take a little more image classification data set also. We'll try to see how problems can be solved using machine learning algorithm. Okay. Again, if you look at plethora of resources available on the internet. Okay. Second, at the same time, there are a lot of AI tools are also available. The best part is the AI tools, according to me, have been classified into 2-3 categories. The first one is where some of the AI tools, you need to have little more programming language capabilities. That means low coding or coding softwares or AI enablers. But there is a coding and there is a no coding enablers also. There are some softwares which you don't need to code, especially in pharmaceutical sciences. I think the focus is on the problem solving. You leave the programming part to the companies where they have softwares they've built so that you can use and then drag and drop, focus on the problems, which is one of the software is JMP Jump, which I'm going to show how to build a machine learning model in quick 10 seconds or 30 seconds or 2 minutes without bad thinking about the programming behind it. So you focus on the problem solving. So we'll have machine learning, the deep learning, natural language processing, and as well as computer vision. Next 15 minutes, I'll try to demystify each of this or simplify each of these components, and then we'll move on to the case studies or demonstration. Good to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. Going well?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, perfectly fine, sir.
Perfect. So just a casual check whether audio video is working or not. Okay.
Yes, sir. It's working perfectly, sir.
Perfect. So we'll take what is machine learning. It's simple. Machine learns. As simple as that. That's going by epistemology. Let's break it simple. Okay. So the this is a beautiful cartoon. I always look at this. We have a lot of dirty data where machines are learning and people are enjoying life. So that's most important. So now there are lot many algorithms in machine learning. How we learn, how machines learn, that means how humans enable machines to learn. And there's something called supervised learning. We'll start with this. It's simple. First one is called supervised learning. I'll give an example. Now just look at this. I have these labeled data. For example, I say this is apple, this is apple, this is not an apple, this is not an apple. So this is my data along with the label. That means I'll give an input and what is the output also I'm telling. That means I'm mentioning what is apple, what is not apple. And I will create a learning and I'll create a tool. Okay. Hey, based on the input, you tell me what is the output. That is the tool. To create the tool, I'm using some data which is already, I know what is apple, what is not apple. That means this is supervised. That means the data is labeled well in advance. And then I create a learning algorithm and I use that tool. I take a new data and I'll put that new data to the predictive tool and it say it is apple because it has already learned. This predictive tool is already learned from the previous data set. Okay. So what is apple, what is not apple? So this is called supervised learning. For example, from the life science cases, you take 1,000 patients data of which, probably 20% have diseases, 80% doesn't have disease. I will create an algorithm or a predictive tool, okay, using that already data which has, some of them have diseases, some of them don't have diseases. Another patient, a new patient comes to hospital, 100,001 patient comes to the hospital. Without doing the diagnostics completely, I will take some input from him. I'll put that input to the model. Now my model might predict what is the probability that he has a disease or not, whether he is a deceased person or not. So that's kind of supervised or supervised learning. Okay. So it could be piece of medical equipment. Okay. Where input label data is already there. So historical data is used to predict what is the likely future of events. Okay. If you know this batch has failed in this solution, looking at the next process parameters, you can also whether
Participant, please mute.
Mute them, mute all except me. That's a good one. Okay. So you muted me also, so I muted myself.
I actually, sir, I muted all now, and nobody can unmute them.
Okay. So now the second one is the unsupervised learning. Okay. So now here also a similar example. So instead of giving label data, so I run it through unsupervised learning where it looks at. We are not looking at the right answer. We are looking at the structure within it. Okay. So unsupervised learning works with transactional data. Example, it can identify customers or segments, or you can think about a periodic table in medicinal chemistry. So this is how we are looking at unsupervised learning. It classifies or clusters or segments based on the similarity properties of the distances, we call it as. So unsupervised is unlabeled data. So your machine learning will have supervised learning and as well as unsupervised learning algorithms. We'll talk about some of these algorithms and I'll show you how it works also. So next is semi-supervised. This is self-explanatory, where you have combination of some of the labeled data and some of the unlabeled data. So, and then you are asking a machine to predict, you train the model, and then you start predicting. Some patients have disease, some patients don't have disease, you create a model, okay? And then when a new patient comes into the picture, you start predicting. That's semi-supervised, okay? The last one being reinforcement learning. So this is exactly used in your robotics, automated surgery machines, okay? So it's called robots, okay? Where an algorithm discovers through trial and error which actions yield the greatest reward, okay? There is an agent. There are primarily three components. One is called agent, so they're called the learner or the decision maker, the environment, okay? And the actions, what the agent can do. The objective is for the agent to choose actions that can maximize the reward. Okay, so that's called agent-based. Again, I want you to be aware of these algorithms and jargons, and not everything the mathematics behind it. I think we are all applied scientists. I always call it as we are all applied scientists. There are people who work for us or else who create the software so that the back end mathematics or the metrics or all those things, physics is taken care in the back end, so that we look at the problem and use the software and solve the problems. But just because all of your professors and just giving that perspective of the machine learning, how it works also. Okay, so now key concepts in ML is something called feature extraction. Just to give you, that means you look out for the main variables which influences your labeled value, or so-called the Y value in a mathematical. You divide the data set into training and validation. You build a model on the data, which is called training data, and then check whether how it performs in a validation or so-called testing data. And I also, I was going through who are the speakers yesterday. Professor was there, and he was talking about the model accuracy. So you'll get models. Some of the times you'll get models which are overfit, underfit, and optimal fit, and then start looking at improving the model accuracy as well by fine-tuning the algorithm. So it's very important to have an objective in your mind. And I also say that most of the times it's not the statistical accuracy, it's the practical significance is most important. I always say that what if you build a 99% efficient model if it is not usable at all in a commercial sense, which is very important. I don't mind you give me a 60% efficient model which can be used in a commercial world, or it can be deployed, or it can be helpful for human beings. So there is always a pressure on scientists and academicians, especially researchers, to build which are statistically good models, okay, accurate models, getting R square of 0.9, okay, or area under the curve as 1. I'm just giving you. So you don't need a 100% good model, statistically good model. It's okay to have a suboptimal but usable model, okay. So the Indians from South, okay, so I'm an Indian from southern part of, we have a dish called idli, which you already know, like most of you know idli. So my professor always used to say back in 99, the eatable idli is better than a fancy pizza. This is most important in building a model or any kind of, okay. So you give me a fancy pizza, which may not be usable or deployable in the market, or the customer is not looking at, or adoption is a challenge. But idli is okay, mediocre dish at this point, but it's adaptable at the same time, eatable, consumable. So we always look at what is realistically, when you build a model, what is deployable versus statistical accuracy. Look at this practical accuracy versus statistical accuracy. That's a two cents of my thought. Being part of industry, built a lot many models across the domains. So I always look at this. Hey, when I build a model, is it usable? Okay, so that's what I look at it. So good to go. Okay, so this is the fads I call it as. Okay, so people deploy artificial neural network. Okay, 1943. Okay, Warren McClure. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. So perceptrons 1958. XOR, exclusive OR algorithm. Okay, Seymour and Papert. Okay, two scientists, Marvin Minsky and Seymour Papert. They showed XOR problem. Okay, with the neural network back in 1969. I know that most of us were not even born at that point. Okay, ANN, artificial neural network, 1980s, backpropagation of errors, we used to call it as. Support vector machines, Bernard Boser and Corina Cortrest, they back in 2000, I think that's what I got exposed to. Okay, 2000, support vector machines, support vector regressions. Decision trees, random forest, gradient boosting, XGBoost, all this, AdaBoost are all 2000 algorithms. Okay, so you can see there are a lot many algorithms which are available. And objective of this is all these algorithms is to predict better or to understand better. Keep this in mind. Why we do artificial intelligence, all these algorithms, or in pharmaceutical industries, there are two important objectives. Either we are trying to predict something or we are trying to understand something. Okay, there are two important aspects. Are you ready to understand? Are you willing to predict? Very important. Okay. So in fact, in 2003, I think Ada Boost was introduced and they got the Nobel Prize also for their work. Okay, so it is in conjunction with many other types of learning algorithms to improve accuracy. The XGBoost and Ada Boost are the most advanced algorithms at this point of time, and we are progressing again. So this is an ocean. Okay, this is an ocean, and the quicker we start understanding, it's better for us. And I always say this. People also say, come to me and say, life science, especially some of the pharmaceutical students, and then the researchers say, data science or machine learning is not something we are exposed to. And I say, it's absolutely fine. If you're not exposed to it, doesn't mean you cannot get exposed to. This is no more a specialized skill in this world, and this is one of the decision-making tool. Don't consider this as a specialized skill. Just like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, okay? At the same time, people should not be taught how to use a mobile at this point of time. Exactly, we are reaching that stage where AI, statistical thinking, is a expected or so-called basic need for everybody to make decisions better. Okay. So now moving ahead, these are some of the ML algorithms. You can go ahead and then see some of the algorithms I will try to demonstrate. For example, principal component analysis, your clustering, decision trees, neural network. I'll try to show some of these. Then comes the deep learning. So now machine learning, we just went through. Then comes little more deep learning. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning that trains the computer to perform human-like tasks, as I mentioned, okay, such as speech recognition, image identification, okay, or else yesterday I joined for a couple of seconds, and I'm thankful to Professor. He was explaining fantastically the text mining, okay, how do you unearth the insights from the unstructured data, and so how do you extract information from unstructured data? So classifying, recognizing. If you see this example, the photos, the picture which I put, okay, how deep learning works. Now, these are the two. Can you differentiate between, one is called parsley and another one is called cilantro? Okay, so if you're coming from any of the local villages, probably you can differentiate. But people in the metros, if you have not seen this, I don't think so. Personally, I cannot differentiate with my normal eyes the difference between parsley and cilantro. If somebody offers me, I'll pick one of these and come back. But there is a significant difference. Now, human beings, it's so difficult for us to get into the nitty-gritties of this to differentiate between parsley and cilantro. So you need little more deep algorithms, little more layers of neural networks to differentiate something like this. So these are two different herbs actually. So for a normal human beings, because so microscopic, I cannot differentiate. So that's where deep learning comes into the picture, where the features that are already singled out by neural networks and little more additional layers, okay? So, and then little more predictive systems that can generalize well, adapt well, and continuously improve well. That's what we're talking about. So now every day you might be ChatGPT, you might be using, okay, Siri, how many of you use iPhone? They use Cortana, okay, or as Gemini. These are all powered by, at least a part of which will be powered by deep learning. Okay, that's what we are talking about. So deep learning has all these things. Now, am I going to go through all these things? But definitely not. Not at this point of time. Probably in future we'll do a hands-on exercise by taking case studies, and probably we might take through that. So it has voice recognition. You can do sentiment analysis, image tagging, motion detection, okay, demand forecasting, facial recognition, your radiology, lot many medical devices, okay. So healthcare, robotics, object detection. So you can do lot many things using deep learning. Some of the next one is the little more on the natural language processing. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit of deep learning also as a demonstration. NLP is where I think this is all we're part of ChatGPT. You can think about it. So this is how previously evolution of NLP. NLP stands for natural language processing. It's not a new science. Okay, the technology is rapidly advancing. Okay, there's a human to machine communication machine to human communications, and we have big data, and then computing capabilities and enhanced algorithms. So it's picking up, and I think most of you use chat GPT, or else what are the other, we'll talk about that, some of the foundation models. So you may speak and write in English or a Spanish or a Hindi for that matter. The computer's native language is known as machine code or machine language. So sometimes it is largely incomprehensible to most of the people like me and you. So you need to have that to translate that and then talk to machines. That's where NLP is evolving, which helps you to understand, interpret, and I use the word manipulate. Okay, so this is very tricky word. Instead of manipulate, I would have used the different word, but given the context of the society and social, I've used the word manipulate. We should be very careful in this. Okay, so you've been used to Alexas. So what are the Alexa capabilities? Yesterday, I think the professor showed you some of the capabilities like contextual extraction, I think corpus analysis. We have large language models based on classification, speech to text and text to speech, document summarization. Yesterday I saw that professor was talking about some of the patents. Okay, and I'll also take one of the case study if time permits. You can do sentiment analysis, essentially using your natural language to understand better along with the computer. That's what we are talking about. We have a lot of algorithms. Mostly we used, slowly as I see, we are moving from NLP to NLU. This is an industry evolution. Now, processing is first level and understanding is the next level. Okay, NLP stands for natural language processing. NLU stands for natural language understanding. So very important is cognitive, be cognitive, and AI applications. Okay, so we always talk about especially language versus body language, and I think the teachers know this better. Okay, so language versus body language makes a lot of difference there. Okay, we should also look through the emotions behind the language and the cognitive part of it as well. So we are getting there. A little more neural sciences is advancing towards that. Okay, so this is how your deep learning algorithms. If you see a basic neural network and a deep learning, we have lot many layers. So that's where your convolutional neural networks are there, LSTMs are there, transformers are there, multi-layer perceptrons. I'm trying to show you some of these, how can we apply multi-layer perceptrons to solve the problem. And you need not know programming. Okay, so that's the best part. I'll give you those tools also. And some of the popular deep learning frameworks. Okay, so if you have heard about TensorFlow, that is from Google. Okay, and PyTorch is my favorite. Majority of the people use PyTorch. That's from Facebook's AI research lab called FAIR. That's the acronym, Facebook's AI research lab. And it's an open source deep learning framework, and we have built a add-in for that. I'll try to demonstrate. There are a lot many things which are available: Keras, scikit-learn, okay, MXNet, Thano. So there are a lot many DL framework for AI. It's available. The last but one, okay. So we have vision, okay. So looking at image data. So this should be very important component in life sciences or pharmaceutical sciences. So it's a field of AI again that trains the computers to interpret, understand the visual world. You can think about a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so I say 1950s, the objects were categorized as circles and squares. That's how the vision started. The computing capabilities of vision. And then 70s, using computers, they started classifying the handwritten text using OCR. Have you heard about OCR, optical character recognition? So then that's where 1970s started. 90s, we started with little more image and facial recognition programs. Some of you used to use mobiles, so image recognition, facial recognitions. And that's how it has evolved over a period of time. So image. So the experiments were started in 1950s and 1990s, where we had large sets of image data sets and we create large language models. Now, before I get onto the hands-on demonstration example, okay, so I wanted to give you little more terminologies which you might be aware of it. I just standardize it. Now you already know augmented intelligence, which is AI. I call it as artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence, which helps you to scale up the capabilities of humans, whether making decisions and then classification. Now the next what has been hearing from last 1.5 years, 2 years is the generative AI. Okay, Gen AI is what they call it as. So this is where normal AI used to take the existing data and then analyzes, where generative AI helps you to create new data or unique data. So I can call it a synthetic data. Okay. Now just imagine synthetic data or else a synthetic tissue. Okay. Now synthetic tablet, I'm just using some of these words, just sort of fun and curiosity. Synthetic nose. Okay. Synthetic tongue. Now, when you use this word synthetic tongue, synthetic nose, and you know it is synthetic, okay? So it is not natural. So why I'm telling you this is you should know when you use generative AI, what are the limitations also, okay? So it's a AI technique capable of creating new and unique data ranging from images to music, and ChatGPT is one of those, okay? What they use something called large language models, okay? So it's also a type of AI based deep learning techniques where they take massive petabytes of data and then they create those algorithms. And just to give you Google, OpenAI, Colab, I think Cody, BERT, okay, ChatGPT, Whisper, and from a pharmaceutical perspective, I'll just establish few of these things so that you should know these are some of the generative AI talks. I think probably you are aware of these things. If not, please make a note of it. BioGPT, okay, it's a generative language model which is trained on millions of previously published biomedical research articles. Okay, that means BioGPT can perform tasks such as answering your questions, extracting relevant data, and generating text relevant to medical literature or life science literature. I think most of you might be using BioGPT. And MedPalm, okay, it's also an LLM designed to provide to medical questions or life science questions, including pharmaceutical science. Okay, there's a second version available already, Palm 2, where it's a family of foundations model tuned for healthcare industry. I strongly recommend you to go and explore this also. Okay, it's available under Google Cloud customers. Okay, exploring the range of applications from basics to complex workflow. And the next one which I got exposed to was evolutionary scale modeling. It's called ESM Fold. Okay, it's an AI method for predicting protein structures. ESM Fold. Okay, let me know if any of you are using this protein structures. AlphaFold. Okay, that's another AI system that predicts the 3D structure of proteins using the amino acid sequences. Again, it is developed by Google DeepMind. Okay, and as well as EMBL, that's European Bioinformatics Institute. Okay, so that's also uses a deep learning algorithm. And Molar is also a molecular generative model. Okay, it's given a training data set, it can learn to produce more molecules from the same distribution. Okay, that's what it is. So it's a graph-based generative model suitable for commonly required tasks of extending your partial molecules. It can use for motives and all those things. So these are all some of the things which I got exposed from it. So as we see future, okay, as I mentioned, as we start using a lot of generative AI, without actually doing a lot many things in experimental world in life sciences, we start simulating a lot of data, and we call it a synthetic data. Okay, this is where the world is going. Okay, where the data is artificially manufactured rather than generated from real words. Okay, synthetic data generated from simulations or algorithms providing an inexpensive alternative to the real world. That's where the usefulness of AI is, without doing actually. You can also see digital twins. Okay, without actually setting up a pharmaceutical factory, you can digitally create a factory and see how it looks, how it works, and then start simulating it. So you can save a lot of time and resources there. We call it as, there are a lot many automobile factories which have digital twins, and in future you'll have pharmaceutical factories also which are called digital twins, where they're going to create in a virtual world. So this is where I've learned this. This is an evolving stage. Okay, so now coming back to AI applications, this is where your pharma gets into the picture. Okay, So every industry is using it, so whether, including matrimonial services, I call it. Okay, so the matrimonial services, healthcare, automobile, every industry. But I restrict my conversation to pharma focus, and I'll take some of the case studies and I'll demonstrate it. Okay, so just to give you a little more, I will avoid medical devices. Okay, in this presentation, probably that's another vast area which we can talk about it. That's also part of life science industry, but I restrict my conversation to drug discovery, drug development, okay, manufacturing quality control in pharma, personalized medicine, and clinical research analysis. And I'll take a couple of minutes to explain each of this before I start demonstrating some case studies. Okay. Are we going good? Good to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's perfectly fine, sir.
Yeah, so I'll next 5-10 minutes I'll explain, and then probably we'll take a bio break. Once you come back, I will actually demonstrate using a dissolution failure case study, all this pharma related case studies using a tool called JUMP software. Okay, so first one to start with, drug discovery. I think most of the professors have been already using this according to me. So now first one is where I have seen from an industry perspective is the target identification and validation. Okay. So analyzing multi-omics data to identify novel drug targets, you can use AI, ML. Predicting protein-to-protein interactions, validating targets through in silico experiments, or we'll come to design of experiments. Okay, that's another area. How can you apply machine learning AI in design of experiments, at the same time applying design of experiments in machine learning? Okay, that's how compatible it is. Or else within drug discovery, you can think about virtual screening and compound design. Okay, screening billions of compounds in silico. Okay, generating novel molecular structures, de novo design. Okay, or else optimizing lead compounds for your desired properties. Okay, if you're looking at creating a new drug or inventing a new drug. Or else, this is drug target interactions, and okay, modeling complex biological systems. That's where your design of experiments and building a simple quadratic model or a cubic model or a little more polynomial model, and then seeing how the interactions happens. Okay, and then once you understand the interactions, go next step, predicting either it could be binding affinity or selectivity. Start looking from a prediction. You can also go one step further in simulations also. Okay, so looking at identifying potential off targets, okay, effects, and then how can you incorporate in commercialization. Those are the something which I always look from a drug discovery standpoint, where AI ML can help you out. Drug development, another area. Clinical trial designs, patient selection and stratification, apply AML. Adaptive trial designs, apply AML. Real-time data analysis and decision making, you can use ML for that. Or else predicting drug efficacy and toxicity. That's also important. Whether your ADMET predictions, which is absorption, distribution, your metabolism, excretion, and toxicity. Those predictions you're looking at. Or else potential adverse effects. Okay. Or else drug responses in diverse populations. If you're looking at what stratified population or a sample data, what are the effects or the responses, and that's something prediction you want to do. You can apply AML. Or you in this most frequently formulation developments. I think I've applied extensively when it comes to demonstrations, applying advanced neural network for your formulation developments. Optimizing drug delivery system. Okay, so this is one case study I'm going to demonstrate. Your stability, predicting stability, or else expiration rate of drugs, you can apply. You build a model and then forecast, predict what will be the expiration rate of drug based on your ICH guidelines. Looking at bioavailability, okay, all those PCS classifications, okay, controlled release formulations. Those are all the areas where you can apply your machine learning, okay, from it. Then manufacturing and quality control. I think most of your students work in manufacturing setup. If you look at the Indian contribution also, we have contributed not only in the patents, but extensively in the manufacturing. I think India is known for that area as well. Whether you're looking at process optimizations, real-time monitoring, adjusting manufacturing process, optimizing yield of a process, especially given the current context of Covishield and see a lot many things would have gone behind to optimize the yield, consistent product quality, and that's where quality by design comes into the picture, QBD. Okay, so that's where extensive machine learning algorithms have been deployed at this point of time. Predictive maintenance of equipments, your medical equipments or manufacturing equipments. Okay, and QC, this is QBD, I call it as detecting deviations in real time, automating little visual inspection systems, building robust processes, applying Taguchi designs, and then little more machine learning algorithms to build robust process so that your product quality doesn't get compromised. So that's where manufacturing quality comes into the picture. So then comes the personalized medicine. Okay, so your biomarker discovery, multi-omics data, novel biomarkers, your identification, predicting drug response based on generic markers, companion diagnostics, okay, patient stratification, subgroups, targeted therapies, we call them, patients' characteristics, treatment outcomes prediction, clinical trial enrollment optimization, okay. So those are all the areas where you can think about. I think there's one area which is picking up is called personalizing the drug dosing regimes, which I want you to explore. Optimal treatment sequences. Okay, that's where you can apply ML or AI. Okay, from a pharma perspective. Clinical research analytics. Again, your trial modernization, or as clinical trial operational analytics, or as looking from a data transparency. Okay, so I also see pharmacy is now kind of a touch base with every other industry also. Now, I also know that professors from other institutes and as well as some of the companies, whether it's a manufacturing or it's material science or it's a chemical or else let's say devices. So there's a synergy between many of the industries also. Now there's always a Medici effect, we call it as what elephants can learn from mosquitoes. Okay, so you also need to think how pharmacy impacts or affects other domains at the same time. Can we learn from them also? We also learn from pharmacy. That's how it works. So I'll just conclude what is road ahead, and then we'll open up for the actual demonstration and presentation. Okay, so road ahead looks like this is what we see from industry. Okay, so as future prospects is integration of multi-omics data, combining genomics, proteomics, metabolics for holistic understanding, and then there's a advanced AI for protein folding and interaction prediction, or AI-driven closed-loop drug discovery and development, or application of quantum computing for molecular simulation, and clinical decision support. And that's where AI is taking a prominent role there. Okay, real-time treatment recommendations based on patient data. That's from a pharma perspective where we see a lot of. One of the important slide, I just want to put this, okay? This is the points to ponder. This is my probably last slide for the day. Then we'll get on to actual demonstration. Points to ponder. So when we use AI, we always look at return on investment. Okay, ROI stands for return on investment. How can ROI be maximized? Okay, so I use AI, whether it's an industrial setup or an academic setup, or it's from a learning setup, return on intent, return on investment. Okay, that's what we are talking about. We should be equally concerned about RAI. Okay, this is what we're talking about, responsible AI. ROI and balancing RAI. AI gives us a lot of advantages. At the same time, especially in life sciences, are we responsible enough? We are looking at challenges in terms of data privacy, ensuring patient data is secure and used ethically, regulatory compliance, and a pharma being highly regulated, whether you have FDA, ICA, CDSCO, all these regulatory authorities. Are we compliant, meeting the stringent regulatory requirements? And there's biases in algorithm. Okay, avoiding biases in AI models that could affect outcomes. How can we avoid bias? Okay, there is a word called friction. That's the word. That means I'm excited. At the same time, I have the fear. This is a word called friction. Okay, the word friction means I'm excited to use AI, but there's always an element of fear in me. So I always say this to me. There's one question I asked to the people here also. Would you want to get operated by a robot, or else you want to get operated by a doctor? Given the two options, okay, I have a option one is I want to get operated by, for example, cataract operation. I want to get operated by a robot completely. But you want to get operated by a doctor. Okay, let's see how many of you can type the messages. Okay, so that I can take a water break here. Quickly. Okay, so let's see. Doctor, all the doctors are saying doctors. I like this. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So majority of you think, yeah. So everybody wants to get operated by doctors, given an option. So I want to get operated by doctor assisted by robots, or else I use the word doctors augmented by robots. Now you remember what AI I defined in the beginning. AI stands for augmented intelligence. Okay, augmented, that means the robot should help the doctor to perform faster and efficient and quicker. Okay, so that's where we are going. The industry is going towards us. End of the day, decision making still lies with the humans, but machines will augment that decision making. Okay, so no, this is something which, okay, many of us are married. Okay, so this is a little more a Friday fun. You can think about it. Okay, so one of the things which I always look at is I want my AI systems to argue with me. Okay, so this is the points to ponder. Okay, AI will adapt. Sometimes it won't create a new product. Will be a little tricky. Okay, so AI solutions are smart, but they're not spontaneously creative. I say they might be creative, but they may not be spontaneously creative. That's where we want them to be. This is where it's going. Okay, so AI can talk, but can AI walk like a person is the question. So we are looking at building that consciousness, the intuitiveness, okay, insightful interaction is what we are looking at. Equal amplification, this is very important. Okay, so where especially human beings, for example, if there is a good news versus bad news, we always amplify the good news, but we don't amplify the bad news. For example, I always ask this question to my kids also. Hey, if somebody says whether in an examination I passed, okay, then the next question is, as a human being, what we'll ask, hey, did you get the first class or a distinction or a rank? Okay, that's a human response. If somebody says, I failed in examination, we normally don't ask, did you get 10 marks? Did you get 20 marks? Did you get 30 marks? Assuming the 35 is the cutoff. We don't question further. Okay, if somebody is failed, that means we don't equally amplify failures and success, as that's a human behavior, I call it, from a psychology perspective. But AI machines have started equally amplifying, which is a concern for some time. Okay, so we need to build that system where little more consciousness gets into the AI system. So you should be very careful. Okay, so when you use AI system, so it's a prefabricated experience versus instinct. We always talk about it. Okay, so approach or argue. So I think married people can think about it. Okay, so it's a joke. Don't judge me on this. Okay, so I want AI system like my wife. Okay, so I want her to approve also. I want her to argue also. He also. In this case, for all the respected women here, we want your significant others to be like, okay, AI should be like that, because they can approve, they can question, they can argue also. Sometimes AI system fail here. It approves it, but it never gets into an argument with us. And humans always learn when you get into a healthy argument. You start understanding their perspective. So it's going to be kind of, it should be, we call it as, it should be a little more open-ended. And when you say open-ended, there is a bias and unfair, and AI systems are prone to bias and unfair. When we use the word generative, okay, generative AI, we've been using it. If you look at the definition of word generative, generative means varied open-ended content. It's called VOC. That means when it is varied and open-ended, that means there is a bias and unfair. But you should be thinking about how much is the risk levels also. Okay. So now we'll take a small bio break for 5 minutes if organizers give us permit. And when we come back, we're going to take some data sets and I'll show you some of the case studies and actually perform. I'll build machine learning algorithms, models, and then we'll apply and see how the problem can be solved. Good to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can go for a 5 minute bio break.
Good to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything fine?
Yes, sir. It's excellent, sir. Till now, I have seen lots of new things. I learned many new things, sir.
So now you're going to see actually hands-on. The next session will be a little more hands-on. I have a lot of case studies to demonstrate. We will build machine learning models and we'll try to interpret them and then we'll take case studies. Okay. So we'll take a 5-minute bio break. Thank you so much for your patience and we'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Okay. So we'll come after 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. We'll take a bio break and come back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The 5 minute break, participants. You will meet after 5 minutes. Now the time is 11:11. Now 11:16 will start. We will resume the session by 11:16. Thank you.
India, a seat of learning for more than 2000 years, where the oral system of education or the Gurukul system imparted knowledge of the Vedas, Upanishads and Sutras for many generations. This unique way to teach evolved into the formal creation of great universities like Takshashila, the world's first university, as well as Nalanda, Ujjain and Vikramshila. Subjects such as fine arts, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, politics and philosophy were taught here. Nalanda, one of the world's biggest universities in the 6th century, even attracted pupils and scholars from Sri Lanka, Korea, Japan, China, Tibet, Indonesia, Persia and Turkey. This was the stature India enjoyed in education for centuries before it lost its way as a prime center of learning. The 21st century heralds a growing concern for creating world-class destinations of higher education in India, centers of excellence which help to educate a student to use their minds intelligently and set off on the journey of their lives with knowledge as their biggest asset. Keeping this in mind led to the genesis of P.P. Savani University, Surat, a seat of higher learning with a clear intent to establish a gold standard in higher education. It is a sincere and passionate initiative to unlock the true value of learning, to stimulate one to inquire and create, to ingrain excellence as a core competence, to enhance the sterling qualities of human character, to explore through inquiry, to experience through engagement, to empower through performance, explore, experience, empower. Spread on a lush 100-acre campus on the National Highway near Kosamba, Surat, P.P. Savani University presents an array of programs through its constituent schools: School of Engineering, School of Sciences, School of Physiotherapy, School of Nursing, School of Management, School of Architecture, School of Design, School of Liberal Arts. These schools leverage a futuristic campus infrastructure, impressive faculty profiles, a talented student cohort, modern technology ecosystem to facilitate and improve learning tools, two-way academia-industry engagements, proactive international collaborations and strong outreach initiatives to the community. These initiatives extend the vision of the group, which has a strong footprint in education and social activities in South Gujarat. As a group, PP Savani showcases wide recognition through its chain of schools for nearly 30 years. Led by Chairman Shri Vallabhbhai Savani, over 45,000 students are enrolled today in 11 schools and adorn the merit list in board evaluations year after year. As a successful businessman and an active social worker, he has reached out to the community through a tertiary cardiac hospital for the economically weak, an AIDS village for social outcasts, an annual ceremony of mass marriages for girls who don't have a father, and extended support to army widows in the recent insurgencies on the border. Even at the university, free ships have been sanctioned for the economically weaker yet accomplished students. With these core values embedded in the group's ethos, the university aims to elevate the evolving ecosystem of higher learning to international levels. International faculty recruitments and exchange, international student internships, international symposiums and workshops, foreign language labs, library connect, research and consulting, conclaves and seminars are on the anvil to extend a transformational experience to all the stakeholders at the university. It is the right time to start that journey. Welcome to the future.
So welcome all the audience. So we're going to resume our session. I request Dr. Muralidhara sir, if you're there, please you can start.
Thank you so much. Hopefully I'm audible and
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, so now the real fun starts. Okay, so let's take some case studies and I'll demonstrate. But the best part is I'm going to use a tool called JMP, okay, which is called Jump. Okay, so yeah, so the case studies using ML and DL. Okay, and this will be pharma related. So I'm going to use a software called JMP, which is called Jump, which has been there from last 37 years. And I represent a company called SAS SAS, which is a 45-year-old company. And this is a software extensively used in pharmaceutical industry. You can see all the 20 largest pharma companies use Jump, including regulatory authorities use this software. And it's a simple drag and drop software used for research and development or else your product development. Okay. So there you go. Okay, so good to go. Okay, so I'm hearing no noise. So or else your bench scientists or researchers use it, and also there are a plethora of resources available. I strongly recommend you to go to the website and then take a look at it. And most of you are faculties here, and a majority, I think 99% are from academic students and faculties and researchers. And this is an expensive software, but for faculties and researchers, it is complementary. Okay, so don't worry about that. If you want to download this and use it, go ahead. I'll give you all the information. Probably I'll pass it on to the professor organizers so that they can further in turn pass the information to you. So feel free to download and use it. It's a simple drag and drop software, and I'll just take you through the capabilities before I take a data set and start. So especially from a pharma perspective, pharmaceutical perspective, this is a software which is aligned with your regulatory authorities. This is very important. When you look at the softwares available for AI/ML, there are softwares which are kind of open source, okay, and so-called the coding enabled softwares, and there is a softwares which are captive, which are a little more easy to use with, and then there is no programming is required. There's no coding involved in this. So this is a software which doesn't require coding. We just need to drag and drop, and it is aligned with the regulatory authorities, be it your Central Drugs Standard Control Organization or your International Council for Hormone ICH or it's your FDA. Okay, so all this, and including they use this software along with the pharmaceutical companies. So you need to think from two perspectives. When you use the software should be easy to work with, and then it should help you to perform faster and quicker. That's the most important thing. Choose a software which helps. It should not be a bottleneck to your performance. Okay, your focus should be on the problem solving, and rest of the things software should take care of it. And that's how it is built. And it's a very well-known software. With Jump, you can do data visualization. Okay, you can do a lot many biostatistics, and anybody can download this software as well. I'll give the link. Whether you're doing a chemometrics, multivariate methods, partial least squares, your factoring, or all sorts of unsupervised. Pharma analytics, AI/ML, okay. So whether building regression model, mixed model, logistic regression, supervised and unsupervised, neural network, deep learning, or extreme gradient boosting, all these things you can do, okay. And then quality process Six Sigma, from a process perspective, that's where pharmaceutical manufacturing quality comes into picture. And the most important for pharma is now, as we speak, is the DOE, design of experiments, and QBD, quality by design. Probably I might do a separate one-day session on DOE QBD with hands-on. Probably I'm doing one in Naipur, Ahmedabad next week. I think probably any of you are interested nearby, you can always join there. It's a hands-on workshop. We'll exploring a lot many designs and then doing a little more design space profiler, little more prediction, simulation, and quality by QBD risk assessment framework, all those things. Stability studies, Jump also capabilities in terms of your expiration rate or your pharmacokinetic models, or else your bioassays, dissolution modeling. So here is a one comprehensive drag and drop desktop based tool, okay, which is kind of tailor made for pharmaceutical sciences. It's a drag and drop software, but you can also code, okay. Somebody is interested in programming and coding, they can also code. There is a capability of programming side of also. If somebody is really into coding, they can code. But if you don't want to code, I want to quickly analyze, here is a software for you, Jump, okay. I'm going to use this. Let's start with the one simple example. Okay, this is how it looks like. Let me open the data set. So I'm looking at a secondary drug manufacturing. Okay, secondary drug manufacturing process. Let me start with one problem and see. Let me apply little more machine learning algorithms here. Let me open the data set. Okay, this is. Can I see any questions here? I can hear some questions here. Okay, so there's no questions yet. As you can see, this is a dissolution of a tablet. We are looking at, we all know that dissolution failure is a criminal offense, according to me. Okay, so now that's an important metric, also called, from a QBD perspective, critical quality attribute dissolution. Now here is a data dissolution which gets affected by all these variables: melt time, coating viscosity, inlet temperature, exhaust temperature, spray rate. Okay, all these variables. Can you see it? Hopefully you're able to see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's in.
You can hear me and see my screen. So now
yes,
this
yes, yes.
data set. Now the question is simple. I want to understand what are the variables which affects my dissolution. So now the company is facing a dissolution failure. A minimum expectation of 70 is what is required. That means 70% of the tablet has to be dissolved in 90 minutes. That's the requirement. Okay, but somehow they see that dissolution, there is a failure, and some of the batches have been rejected. There's a dissolution failure. Now the objective is, first objective is to understand using AI/ML tool or machine learning algorithm, what are the variables which affects the dissolution first. Okay, understand. And then the next question is, using ML, I want to optimize what should be the optimal values of those factors, I use the word, those variables which affects dissolution so that my dissolution should be maximized. Okay. Here is a dissolution failure case. That's what we are trying. So if you're using a normal way, okay, try it from a problem solving perspective. Okay. So first thing which any a data scientist or a machine data scientist which do is, first, when you get the data, look out whether the data is good for the analysis or not. That means checking whether the data is suitable for the next level exploration. That means checking for outliers, checking for missing values. Sometimes in industrial setup, we'll have a sensor, right? And then sensor may not function properly. There's a malfunction in the sensor. You may not capture. So scan the data, look through it. And there is lot many things available. If this is how it looks like, jump, okay. It's like a simple Excel kind of a feel. And then from an analysis menu, lot many capabilities are there. You can say predictive modeling, specialized modeling, all these things. Okay. So now I want to screen the data. That means look out for cleaning the data. Let's say you have to pre-process the data, clean the data, explore for outliers, missing values, everything you are supposed to do. Once you complete those stages, now you start visually understand the data. Okay, so visual understanding is the most important thing before you apply machine learning algorithms. Now I'll see there are lot many visual capabilities available in JUMP. So there's something called graph builder. Okay, so I will, now the objective is to understand from the data before I build a model. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so now I see dissolution. If somebody gives me a problem like this, first thing is I will check out whether is there a problem actually. Okay, that's the most important. Whenever we solve the problem, ensure that the problem exists. Okay, so I put a simple build a control chart here, and I see that you can see lot many. Okay, speculum is if I put control zones, cancel it. Now I want to see little shade zones. Okay, you can see lot many lots are below 70. You can see that. Just exploring that. That means there is a problem with dissolution. Before I go and apply machine learning algorithms to solve this problem, ensure that problem exists. And this is the most important thing in any problem solving is, most of the times I've done this in my early days. I've solved a problem which by the time I solve the problem, somebody else have already solved the problem. This is a PhD people know this problem really better. By the time you define the problem, somebody else has already solved their problem. Okay, or else there's not enough time to solve that problem. So you should ensure that the problem really exists. You can see that there is a problem. Most of the batches dissolution is less than 70. Now I start visually exploring this. Okay, the first thing is I'll just drag and drop and see, hey, I'll see a little bit of box plot here and then see a little more. You can see that, okay, or else a histogram. I can see lot many lots are below 70. Okay. So somebody is asking which tool is this. I'll come back to that. I'll give that information. It's called JMP. Okay, I'll give the link to download also. Don't worry. Especially for academicians, I'll give a separate link. Okay, where it's a complimentary license. So you can see that, and then you can start looking at, hey, I just start exploring this based on, let me put screen size here. Okay, so I just drag and drop and create. I can see that, hey, there is a significant difference in the dissolution across the two screen size. You can see screen size 3 has higher dissolution compared to screen size 5. I can always export this in whatever format for research purposes. Okay, and I want to see, is there any relationship between dissolution and meal time? So you can say just drag and drop and create a line graph. Okay, I can see that as and when we move from as and when the meal time increases, dissolution increases. You can see that there is a direct relationship. Okay, so now I can also see a little more on the coating viscosity. Let me drag and drop. These also directly related, and I'll say spray rate inversely related. Now I want to split this based on let's see compressor. See, this is one graphical representation. You can drag and drop. You can always export the output in whatever format you want. For example, image, PDF, HTML for your publications or your presentation. Okay, so you can always explore that. Okay, so now you also want to do a little more. So the best part in JUMP is select and then drag and drop it to center. JUMP makes the graph for you, which you can always change. You want a heat map, you want a pie chart. This doesn't make sense actually. You want an area chart, probably heat map makes sense here. So explore, unearth the insights from the data. Now you want little more classical visualization, go to scatter plot 3D. I can see what is these three variables, and I want to put a little more three-dimensional graphing. I can always create these kind of graphs and then explore the insights quickly. Visually understand the data. That's the first. Before building any machine learning model, explore the data, visually understand. That's the key to success in building a model. Or else if you're deciding to build a heat map, I'll just create a heat map based on the dissolution. You can see I'll put a color here and then I select a dissolution heat map. You can see at what levels of spray rate and then blend time, exhaust temperature and atomizer pressure and blend time where the dissolution is more and high. Start exploring the data visually is what we are talking. Okay, you can build graph like this, visually understand, and start exploring the distribution before understanding the model. Very important. Okay, so now I can also find the distribution. It's very important before you build a machine learning or a deep learning model. How do you look for the distribution of the data? Now, let's quickly build a model. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly build a predictive modeling here. I will show a neural network. Let's see, a simple neural network I'll build. So for that, my objective is to find out which are the statistically significant variables which affects my dissolution. I'll simply build a predictive model or a machine learning algorithm called neural network. Okay, so I'll take this dissolution is my y variable. Okay, this is my factor, this is my validation. Now you say I'll build some simple neural network, how quickly I can build. Okay, so this is my neural network. Now you can see that 80.84 is my training R square and validation is around 0.64. I know it's an overfit model. I can fine tune this model further. So now you want to get to the next level. Okay, so now understanding is the key. I can see that. Now you see not all the variables might be statistically significant. So I'm trying to get into the feature extraction, which are the main important features. For that, I can run a simple regression model where trying to understand which are the variables which affect my dissolution. Quickly run a model here and then see that you can see that only few variables, actually these variables are not at all significant. Only it's the mill time, screen size, coating viscosity, spray rate, and blend time. Okay, I can start deleting one by one quickly. Okay, so as to build a parsimonious model. Okay, quickly I'll build a model. See, I need not go back and then rerun the model. Atomizer pressure, torque supply, probably lactose is also. Oh, force is not significant. I'll just remove. Okay, this is my significant variables which affects my screen size, blend time, spray rate. I built a model, and all this model diagnostics you can see. This is your prediction expression statistically. And one thing which I want to show you is called prediction profiler. Okay, this is where your machine learning models are more important. Can you understand the model is the most important. See, if I increase the mill time, you can see how my dissolution is increasing. You can see there is a direct relationship between dissolution and mill time. Or else, if I increase spray rate, you can see dissolution is coming down. Okay, there's an inverse relationship. Okay, similarly, you can use this interactive tool to understand before you go and then optimize the process. So now if I want to find out what is the optimal value of dissolution, okay, now I can run many models. This is one of the machine learning model. Okay, as a researcher, what I can do, I can go build predictive modeling like partitions, bootstrap, all these algorithms. Now assume that you're a teacher or researcher, you don't have time to run all the algorithms. What will you do? There is something called AutoML as well in Java. It's called model screening. Okay, there instead of me running each algorithm, how quickly, let me see. I'll take only these variables. Okay, and this is my validation. Instead of me running individual algorithms, I'm asking Jump to run all the algorithms and say, give me the results. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time. Okay, let's see how good. Yeah, we should be good. Okay, so now you see Jump has run how many? Decision tree. Okay, let me minimize. Decision tree, neural boosted, bootstrap forest. Okay, neural boosted, you want to select, run selected. This is one machine learning algorithm, and this is your neural boosted. Okay, boosted algorithm. Quickly you can run, or else you want to run generalized prune forward, run selected. Okay, good to go. Now you can start seeing how quickly I can build multiple machine learning models and then see, or else the best one is the decision tree. Okay, so I can run selected with, I can see go and then build a decision tree here. And this is my display options. I can see that. Okay, split. Further split doesn't make any sense. So you, based on your requirement, you choose the algorithm and then start building the models and interpreting. One of the example on the solutions. Okay, if you want to build an advanced double deep learning, okay, you can also build, see, extreme gradient boosting. Okay, select, run selected. It's another algorithm for where you can fine tune parameters. Okay, and then you can auto tune a model and then go, and then where Jump automatically tunes the model and gives you the best model. Now the question is very important. Now, how to tune this? You need to have a little more fair understanding of these algorithms before you go and use it. You have to focus a little more. If you don't have time, absolutely, you can fine tune automatically and then run. So now the focus is to solve problem, at the same time deploy it as a solution, commercial solution, or a translation research perspective. So keep that in mind. So now let me see how quickly I can run XGBoost model. Yeah, it's taking some time.
This is super useful, sir. I'm saying the first time I found it's very interesting. I think all the participants are really happy.
Deep neural network models also. So what I'm trying to show is only predictive modeling. I'm not showing you, say, AutoFit, done. Okay. So 0.9998. Okay. So now it's a overfit model. I need to fine tune it. I'm just showing you how quickly you can do it. Okay. So you focus on problem, and that's what life science people should be doing it. Okay. So now again, said that not everybody enjoys programming. Okay. So programming is required, I understand, but not everybody needs to learn programming. At the same time, not everybody enjoys programming. So as I mentioned, there is a coding platforms and non-coding platforms. Jump is a non-coding platforms. That's the reason it is very famous in pharmaceutical sciences, and including FDA uses Jump software for that matter, or approved, kind of in line with the regulatory authorities. This is how quickly I can run. Now I'll take another example. Okay, so let me take, this is a little bit small data set. Okay, so I'll take further small data set. Okay, let me show you how machine learning. Here is a data set of let's say I did a design of experiment. Okay, I did a design of experiments. I applied a custom design. Probably in futures, we'll go through what are different designs of experiments, and probably most of you are familiar with your central composite design or box Binkin design or fractional factorial designs. But industry-wise, there are cutting-edge designs, so-called uh, definitive screening designs, custom design, okay, or else covering arrays. Little more advanced designs are also available. Probably in future, I'll take a day-long workshop for you to take you through DOE as well. And which Jump has all these capabilities, okay, all this custom design, augment design, and all. So here is a case study which is based on DOE, and I have this data. You see that only 20 records are there. So I'm applying little more advanced learning algorithm because to simulate as well, so that I can show you synthetic data component as well from a AI perspective. So now here is there are three responses. Okay, disintegration time, time of maximum release, and thickness. We are talking about ODF, orally dispersible film. Okay, and these are all my input variables. Okay, gums, carrageenan, HPMC, pullalan. Okay, now my objective is to optimize this process using machine learning algorithms, where I want to find out what are the optimum values of gums, carrageenan, HPMC, pullalan, which can disintegration time is a minimization, time of maximum release is also minimization, thickness is also minimization. So now normally we apply a regression model. Okay, so if I apply regression, you're already familiar with this. Is probably you look at this profilers like your surface profilers. You're all familiar with this, the regular techniques. Okay, so but I'm not going to apply regular technique. I'm going to apply a little more machine learning technique. So instead of that, I will apply something called neural network. Okay, neural network. And what are my input variables is gums, pullulan, HPMC, carrageenan is my factor. And these are all my responses. Okay, and I'll apply a little more extended, let's say Gaussian also, and then learning rate would be number of models would be let it go. So now I can see that this is, I built a neural network model. Let's not get into the efficiency of the model here. Now this is my R square, let's see, yeah. Okay, so now generalized R square. So let's keeping others constant. Okay, so let's see. This is my neural network. Quickly, I built this. Now that to optimize this. Okay, so now the best part is how can I optimize this? Now that I can go to profiler. Now you see, this is an interesting way of understanding the model here. Okay, now you see on my x-axis. Okay, all your factors are there. Your gums, carrageenan, HPMC, and pullulan. All these factors are there. Okay, and this is my response. Okay, disintegration time, thickness, and I've defined it as a minimization. Okay, disintegration is a minimization. All these things is a response goal I've defined. So now I can see. Look at this from a visual perspective. If I built a neural network, if I increase carrageenan, it has a non-linearity. Okay, you can easily see this. Okay, this is called prediction profiler. I can go and then optimize using gradient descent algorithm optimization. Okay, now I say maximize, and remember, Jump runs the optimization algorithm and says that, hey, keep the gums at 6, carrageenan at 42, and HPMC at 130, 140 pullulan, where you will get disintegration time of 33.89, time of maximum release 3.29, and thickness of 0.39. Okay, this is my optimal factor settings. Now it doesn't stop here. When you're doing AI and ML, you can also go and then simulate and then create little more synthetic data to check the robustness of your process. Okay, that's where your AI ML can help you out. I can do a simulation where I can play with 40 different distributions, virtual distributions of your data, as you can see this. Okay, so we're able to see that. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, yeah, so now you can choose the distribution. If it is not normal, you can start simulating the data. Okay, and then you can also add little more random noise to your responses. And then this is my 10,000 rows of simulated data. You can see that I simulated the data little more. Okay, I talked about synthetic data. Now use this data to advance further to build a robust process. This is how you can apply simple machine learning algorithm. Okay, now this is a multi-response optimization using machine learning. I can apply any kind of algorithm. Okay, simply drag and drop, click. I'll use another case study. Okay, let's see. I use one of the case studies is let me see. Yeah. So yesterday I was quickly got into the meeting. The professor was explaining the text data. Okay, so you might have a lot of literature review. Okay, so now here is something which is all you want to know is what the literature says about safety of chloride. So I have around 8,931 title and as well as abstract here. So I just copy paste it into Jump environment. It's a simple Excel kind of a feel you get, right? So now there are thousands of abstracts and there's not enough time to read each of them. We don't have time. So now I can do too many things here. Okay, so this is a 8,900 data set. I don't want to do a deep learning because it takes at least 20-30 minutes. I don't want to stretch your time, but I'll show you how it works simply. Okay, but I can take a smaller data set and I'll learn a deep learning for that matter with a little more image data. So now this is the text data. I have title and abstract, simple analyze. There's a text explorer. If you see, this is my title and abstract. And yesterday, probably you would have learned a little more on word, stemming, no stemming, regular expressions, all these things. And then just click OK. The The best part in jump is just a menu driven. So you can see it's doing parsing and stemming all this information. Okay, quickly it runs. Okay, you can see these are the terms and lists. Okay, so and I'll go here, display options, I'll show word cloud. Oh, you can see that chlorine is extensively used. Layout, I'll just center it out. Okay, I've already. So you can see when you're doing chlorine, obviously chlorine will be used. So I can just right click and then make as a stop word, add stop word easily. Okay, so now automatically it adjusts it. Now, if you want to do a sentiment analysis or else a latent semantic analysis, go for a latent semantic analysis. Okay, so it quickly parses the data. Let's see how quickly it does it. So is it doing in the backend? I don't want to be stuck here. Okay, it's doing SVD. Hopefully it runs faster. Okay, because there's a 9,000 records. Let me take a smaller data set for that matter. Okay. No, it is taking time. Let me take a smaller data set. Okay, so if it takes a lot of time, I don't want you to wait. Okay, so it's taking. Okay, let me close the program, take a smaller data set. Okay, I'll take a subset of this which I've already created. Instead of 8,000, 9,000 records, let me take a smaller subset and then show you a little bit of clustering of the documents. Okay, if you have any kind of. Okay, so let's see. This is open. So instead of big record closely, because we don't have time, I'll go to the text explorer. Okay, so I'll take title and extract, abstract, and then I'm not doing stemming. So quickly it runs. Now I showed you word cloud quickly, and then I can beautify this also. Okay. The one thing is the GUI interface. Okay, you can always do arbitrary colors. You can see chlorine is extensively used. Okay. Now I'll make it as a stop word. Okay, so whether water also I want to remove, let me add this also a stop word. Okay, so you can see, and then if you want to quickly do latent semantic SVD, okay, it runs faster now because the data is small. And then if you want to cluster the documents, okay, so you can cluster terms or cluster documents, or else I can do a topic analysis. Okay, I need 5 topics. Let's see. You can see each of the topics. Now that you can easily save the document topic vectors and then build a predictive model, whether it is relevant or not. You can see that. Okay, which are the documents which are relevant? I can go ahead and then fit a model. Okay, again, where relevant is my Y variable topic vectors. I can build a logistic regression model. Okay, simply on the ROC curve and the lift curve. So all those things you can go ahead with the predictive models. Quickly it enables you to perform a little faster, and then you don't need to think too much from a programming perspective. Yeah. So I can see some questions, but I'll take it later. So I want to show you one last example and give you a little more resources, and then we can open for the questions. So now I have a video data also. I want to show a deep learning capabilities. Okay. So I do have a video data. This is pneumonia X-rays. Okay. So pneumonia is sweeping through local schools, assume that. And it's not clear whether it's a viral or bacterial. Let's assume that. Okay. So you have this thousands of chest X-ray images on children that have been labeled by experts that to be evaluated. Okay, so now this is the image data. Okay, so I can do image classification also. Okay, there's a causes here: normal, bacteria versus virus. 3.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I can apply a deep learning. Okay, this is where it becomes. Okay, so now I can do a little more torch deep learning, where let me say cause is my response. Okay, picture is my factor. Okay, and I'm doing a fold validation quickly, and it gives me an option. It might take some time. Okay, that's okay. That's meanwhile. Okay, you can see that these are all the multi-layer perceptrons, transformers, radial basis functions. Okay, and these are all the image models, and this is the activation functions. You can always explore this. Okay, and then click go. Now let jump run. Okay, it takes some time to run the model. Okay, it's fitting the model now. So meanwhile, it's going to take some time. Okay, let's it be. So it's creating the last function accuracy. Okay, quickly it runs. So meanwhile, any questions till now? So I'll also give you some information about where to download the software, and this is a software which can fit your comprehensive from the pharmaceutical perspective. Okay, So now I'm typing this www.jmp.com/student. Okay. If you go to this website, and if you're a faculty, you can use your college email address, even if you're a student. Okay. So if you're a student, if you're a faculty or a researcher, use your college email address. Okay. And then download the software. Okay, how is the data uploaded to this file? Yeah, drag and drop. I'll show you that. Somebody had a question. Okay, so you can copy, paste, import, all those things you can do. Just pre, okay, answering to your question. So you can go to that. So what we have enabled for academicians in the back end, there is no cost involved. It's completely complimentary. In case if they get a doubt that you are not an academician, they might ask you to support information with the ID card or a fee paid receipt. Okay, so just upload that so that they will make it complimentary. You will not pay anything. Okay, so and most of the colleges are covered. If you have a college email address, it's easy. If you're using a Gmail and all, you have to prove that you're a student or you're from academics by supporting information with either a college photo ID card or a fee paid receipt or a instructor pass or something like you might have it. So that's called jump.com/student. That's the website. Okay, let it. I think it's taking time because there are 5,000 X-rays. Okay, so we are trying to evaluate images here quickly. But let it run through it. I don't want to disturb that setup. Okay, you can use that. So I'll also show how to import the data set, and I'll also show there are a lot of resources to learn. Okay, so and it's easy drag and drop software. So I'll put all the resources here for your reference. I think anybody, if I put it here on the chat box, anybody can download that particular file, right, Professor? Can they download a file if I drop it here?
I think yes, you can just drop the link. So let's try.
Let's see. I'll put a resource link here. Okay, so where's the resource link? I'm just checking it out. Pharma. Okay, nitrogen websites. This will be there. Okay, resources. Okay, very good. So I will try to put here the resources links here, and then also downloading this. Oh, okay. So I need to ensure that I not respond. I need to respond to everyone, right? Meeting group chat. Okay, so I'll just drag and drop here. In parallel, it is running. Okay, there you go. So now these are all the links for the resources, and then how to download. Okay, the software student subscription. I've also put a PDF here. So please go ahead and then download. Okay. So in fact, we are in now that everybody is into the pharmacy, we are in conversation with APTI, the organizing team of APTI. If they give us a permission, we're going to make this big announcement that the jump will be complimentary for all the pharma faculties and researchers and students across India. Probably APTI Con is coming in next month, if I'm right, APTI Con. So hopefully I might see you, some of you, if at all everything goes well, we'll have another session there, and then we'll make that big announcement. But you people are lucky that I have announced here this workshop itself here. So I'm giving you all the information. Okay, so it's going to take some time. Let it build through it. Okay, so because it's an image model. Meanwhile, I will open up for questions here, and see while it builds the model, let it build. So it's going to take some time. So 5-10 minutes it's going to take. This is still epoch 2 or 5. I would have given 2 epochs only. I wanted to build the best model, so it takes 10 minutes. Yeah. Any questions till now? Okay, you can go to the Jump website. A lot of resources are available. And this is a software, commercially driven software, which is old software from SAS. Extensively used. You can talk to any of your pharma friends there in the industry. They've been using it for a while. Yeah.
So any participant who like to ask any questions, you can raise your hand so that I can give a chance to unmute and you can ask. Any participant? Participant can raise your hand so that you can ask questions directly to the sir. Dr. Madhu, you would like to ask something? Yeah, Dr. Sujata, if you have any questions, you can please raise your hand.
Uh, Good morning. This is Dr. Kalavati. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please ask.
Yeah. It was a very informative session, sir, and quite brainstorming. I just want to know, we have been using DOE also
Yep.
for this optimization on this. How is this JNP different from that?
Oh, so yeah, DOE is, see, there are two perspectives. When we talk about statistical data analysis, one is called process discovery, another is called experimental discovery. Okay, so let me clarify. The process discovery means you already have data and you're going to analyze that and you learn from that data. That is called process discovery. That's something like going to a library and reading it and learning in library. What is experimental discovery means? Go to the lab and do experiments and collect data and then learn from it. From moving from library to laboratory. So end of the day, the data is already there. That's called process discovery. You collected the data. That is called experimental discovery. So statistical discovery happens from both perspective in pharma, process and experimental discovery. So DOE is a way of extracting maximum information from minimum number of experiments. You have a goal of whether you're screening or you're optimizing, you're building a robust process, you're creating a new drug or optimizing a process. So you might have a lot of goals in DOE. So DOE takes help from machine learning. So the algorithms of machine learning can be applied in DOE. Okay, that's what design of experiment. So JUMP has both DOE and as well as ML, all biostatistics, your stability, dissolution. So it's one comprehensive tool which has all these capabilities you can explore. So DOE helps from machine learning as well. Okay. Normally you build a quadratic model. You can also build a machine learning model.
Okay, sir. Okay, thanks a lot. Even I have registered for APTI Bhubaneswar. Hope to see you there, sir.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you. I'm yet to receive a mail from the organizing team there, but we have proposed it. Or else there'll be someone from our team, definitely from commercial team, to talk to you. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir, for the very informative session.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you, sir. Now I can see Dr. Shobha. You can please unmute and you can ask a question.
Hello, sir.
Namaste.
Good morning.
Namaste.
Sir, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, it was a fantastic session. Sir, I have already attended one of your session regarding QBD using JMP.
Okay.
I have two questions, sir. I want to know how flexible are regulatory authorities in utility of AI apart from DOE and in drug discovery and clinical data analytics. Do they accept data related to these two platforms?
The answer is yes. Okay, but if you go to the FDA website, okay, Food and Drug Authority website, there are a lot many patents which have been already filed, and there are a lot of indicators, regulations around it. Now it is there as long as you are able to explain the phenomena. I think AI is good for us. Okay. Now, so AI has a composite meaning, I said, So people also should think AI from an augmented intelligence, not the artificial. The word artificial is very artificial for me. So just from a Friday fun perspective, what is the opposite of artificial intelligence? Just Friday fun, huh? Opposite of artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
Natural stupidity. Okay, that's the opposite.
My second question is, can you throw some light on multi-omics data?
I think can we have a conversation offline? I'll definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You might need some more time because I have to do a little more library just to see that I'm more of a statistics AI/ML guy. I'm learning pharmaceutical sciences by talking to people like you. Okay, so I'm basically.
Maybe a hint what it is about. Maybe a hint. Multi-omics.
I can send you a document. Okay, so I'll send you a document.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'll give you can find me on the LinkedIn. We can connect it, and I can, if I have your email address, I can always share that information. Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Dr. Vivek, you can ask Dr. Vivek. I can
Yeah,
see. Yes.
I'm audible, sir.
Yes, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. It was a very nice session. In fact, lot of new things we came to know. I'm just curious to know about how better this statistical tools are used for prediction of stability studies, because usually what we learned is about the regression uh, 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 line that we draw and we predict the stability. Is there any additional tool that helps for predicting the stability of different formulations?
Okay. Stability studies a very interesting question. So ICH, what if you go to the guidelines of ICH? Okay. Stability, first thing is we don't take the 5% significance, we will take the 25%. Okay, we built 3 models in when we talk about the stability studies, and accordingly, I would have shown that because the jump is running. Okay, I can do a stability studies here in jump also. Now, regression, when we use the regression means it's one of the entire gamut of things from a prediction and analytics. I call it as regression. If you look at the word regress, means going back, the English word regress. Okay, going by classical definition. So what ICH recommends you is you have to build these models, and then accordingly you have to predict it. Okay, so now you can also apply, but from a regulatory perspective you have to follow that. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, because the regulatory is not only thinking from a statistical perspective, they also think from an end user perspective. You know that me and you know that how it gets calculated, even if it is written expiration rate as tomorrow, but I know that it won't expire exactly in tomorrow. There is a little more time also, right? So you know that how it's calculated. It doesn't lose the power, the tablet. So, but they always think consumer perspective. Okay, so it's okay. We call it as type 1 and type 2 error, right? Okay, type 1, type 2 error, and that exactly it fits there. So from a stability perspective, there are fixed regulations, but from that also, if you're doing any kind of bioassays and all, you have little more like freedom to deploy different models or regression algorithms. But from a stability, okay, now it has run. Okay, can you see my, okay, where you can see, I will show. Yeah, this is the model has run. I see. Now the model has run. You can see this is my deep learning using touch. You can see that. Not a bad model. Okay, you can see my model accuracy is 0.83. Can you see accuracy 0.83? 83% is not bad. Okay, people think that everybody requires 99%, 100%. You should think realistically also. My passing marks is 33%, 35%. Back those days. Okay, 90s. What is the passing marks in university is 35 marks. Okay, just kidding on that note. We want higher the accuracy, but we should be ready to take whatever it is. For example, the Covishield. What is the first dose efficacy? If you look at us, what is the first dose Covishield efficiency? Any idea? First dose. It was around 70. You remember that? Okay. The first dose was 70-75%. So 70 was good enough for the time for us. Okay, so given the life science. So we don't look at statistical accuracy. Everybody wants 9900. Okay, look at realistically. Look at realistically. That's most important. So this is not a bad model. We built a good model. So just taking from stability. Now you ask this question. I can quickly take you through stability. Hopefully we have time. Okay, so let me open the stability data set. Okay, so the toxicology data set, I can show that out quickly. And just to give you the answer to your question, yeah, normal regression where you start with basics of you are fitting a line and then look for all those diagnostic measures. Okay, and then yeah. Somebody has asked a post hoc question, so I'll come back to that. Yeah, you can always do post hoc analysis from an ANOVA perspective. That's what I'm thinking perspective, whether a Welch test or a Dunnett's control, those kind of tests. All those capabilities are part of biostatistics. You can use that. I'm just try to open the stability data set. Okay, I recently did for stability, survival, dissolution, patient. Stability. There you go. Yeah. Meanwhile, can I take another question? Let's see, let it open stability.
So there is a question I can see in the chat box. Someone is asking, just quick, sir, is there any tool available that can help us to decide or maybe recommended what post hoc test can be applied to the data?
So first question is what test needs to be applied for the data? That's the first question. Then follow-up question should be what post hoc test. What do you mean by post hoc is kind of diagnostic measure. Whether when you apply, for example, in ANOVA, you should know you have to apply post hoc after you do ANOVA. That means ensuring that ANOVA is good for the analysis. That means for this data. For example, when the Y is continuous, X is categorical more than 2 levels, you apply ANOVA or a one-way ANOVA. Then becomes two-way ANOVA, MANOVA, and all. One of the requirements for ANOVA is your Y variable has to be normally distributed, and then there should be homoscedasticity. I'm just throwing some jargons. There should be equal variance. These two things should be there. Now, after you apply ANOVA, if it is not normal, you will do non-parametric test. If it is normal, then you check for homoscedasticity, and that's called diagnostic measures, also called post hoc test. That means whatever test you have applied is good enough. If that is what post hoc. Next question is, what is that, whether the test is correct or not, then we have an add-in called data analysis director, which I'm showing here. Now, which test to be applied when? A kind of a guided analysis is also available in JAP, which you can explore further.
Sir, thank you, sir. Is there any other question from any participant you can take?
Now you can see I've applied stability test here quickly. You can see this. This is your okay, degradation, save estimates, and you can see that the expiration rate is how much? Yeah, I can see that 4.4. Yeah, 4.48 with 95. I see based on ICH guidelines. You can see that it's written ICH guidelines also here based on that expiration. So you take 25% confidence band. So you can do that.
Thanks a lot.
Great question. Thank you so much for your question. Yeah.
So is there anyone who would like to ask question? Please raise your hand. Any participant? So looking for more questions from the participant. If anyone is interested to ask, please you can raise hand and you can unmute.
Yeah, this is my LinkedIn profile. It's on LinkedIn. Let's connect it on LinkedIn. Okay, so yeah, this is my LinkedIn profile, and Muralidhara A. You can easily find JUMP, and this is a JUMP website, jmp.com. Go to jump.com, and then you can see industries with pharmaceutical sciences, which is one of our dominant. Now you can see. So you have a lot of case studies available. You can see Lonza, Merck, the companies which are using the capabilities. Now look from two perspectives. One is academic research perspective, and the second is how can you use this to teach your students? That's more important. Okay. We also see you people are the advocates of college. So that whoever is teaching, you can use this drag and drop tool to teach your students. They can also download, and they will get visibility to a world-class tool like JUMP, so that it will add to their resume also. So there are a lot of things which I also say there is one course called Statistical Thinking for Industrial Problem. Okay, Steps JMP, and I've given you that link also. It's a free online course. Anybody can do it. It takes 30 hours to complete this course, which has there is a design of experiments, predictive modeling, correlation regression from an application standpoint. So that's another recommendation. I've shared all the resources to you as well from the link. Yeah. Okay. Good to go. Any other questions?
So any other question, participant? We are looking for any questions. So you are at the end of the session. If anyone asks for some questions, you can ask. Someone is asking any crash course on JMP in upcoming days for formulation design.
Yeah. So there is a design of experiments. Okay, I think that's how we got connected with professor also from Saudi University. I think Naipur Ahmedabad professor suggested my name, if I understand. And so I did one for Naipur Guwahati last week, and I'm doing one for Naipur Raebareli. And September 5th is where I'm coming to Ahmedabad for delivering a session on design of experiments, QBD 1-day session, hands-on with GEM software at Naipur Ahmedabad. I think Professor Dheerajam is organizing that. That's where, if you're close by, you can connect there. Registrations are closed. Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that. So we'll do another one. Okay, now the ball is back on Savani University, so they can organize one in-person, a day-long hands-on workshop so that I can come and see you. While always online works better for us from a cost perspective, but I always see hands-on is on hands-on. We can always learn a little more, so that online what happens is I don't know whether you're doing actually correct or not. So that if you do it in person, I come next to you, I stand next to you, create the pressure to you so that you'll start doing it. Okay, so that's the best part of in-person workshops. So we are open for that. We can always do that by collaborating with you.
Yes, sir. Now we can see Dr. Ravi Gopal is want to ask something. Dr. Ravi Gopal.
Right, Dr. Murli, thank you for the nice session. We would request you the contact details on the chat so that we can contact you as and when required. But I have a question for Savani University. Along with the video recordings for the past 5 days, would we also be receiving some kind of certificate of participation so that it acts as a credential for my organization? Am I audible?
Yeah, this is my email address, and I'm also putting my phone number. My request is normally if I'm in a meeting and all, I may not pick the call. I might call you back based on my free time. But email, I'm definitely on LinkedIn and email. Okay, I'm putting phone number also. You can find my phone number on the LinkedIn as well. Either way.
Sure. I actually had asked a question to Savani University. Would we be receiving some kind of certificate of participation for this past 5 days?
Yes. So we'll release within next week. You'll get it, sir.
1 minute, sir.
Thank
you.
you.
You will get the recording also and the certificate. So by next week, you will get it.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I can see Dr. Adhansh Mishra. You can please unmute and ask.
Am I audible to you, sir?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sir, myself, Dr. Ashwini Mishra. Actually, by mistake, I'm using the ID here, some of other reason. So, sir, my question is that whenever, like, suppose we are developing some kind of optimizing model for formulation, and in that case, if we are like taking rotational speed, like probably formulation of nanoparticle, then at that point of time, we normally make the variable, the rotation speed 0. But in the case of development of the particle, if you are choosing it as a stirring, or we have to keep it 0, that because stirring it 0, so the particles are not forming. What can be done in this case?
I'm trying to understand the question. Again, I submit my so-called the ignorance of the pharmaceutical sciences. I'm trying to learn here. So, okay, the first thing is, if you look at, there are variables which are part of your formulations, which are, I call it as product variables. And you're also trying to bring in little process variable also in this case. You know, this your rotating speed, if I understand. So there is a component, and there is a we call it as mixture with process variable is what you are looking at, the way I look at it. Okay, so there are designs from a DOE perspective. You need to understand the impact of your speed rotation on the components. That is called mixture with process variable. And there is something called mixture of mixture also in a design of experiments. And I want you to, normally what I've seen is majority of the learning stops at formulation design and mixture component, whether it is latex or else extreme vertices, basic mixture designs. In this case, if you see that as impacting, then you have to include a non-mixture variable in your design so that you can optimize both mixture component as well as non-mixture component, is what I could see from the survey. But definitely we need to understand what exactly from the perspective. Okay, so I forgot to tell you community.jmp.com. So if you start using JUMP, and if you have any questions, we have plethora of resources. In fact, that PDF file has all the links to resources. Any kind of questions can also be posted there. Not only people across the world who are actually working in pharma industry and all, they'll all answer questions. So you might have a better perspective as well, instead of only looking from a statistical standpoint, which I'm familiar. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, sir, I should not take it. I should run as a zero, right?
Ideally, you should not be using zero. I would require you to create another variable, a continuous called speed, and then change that also impact on your responses. That becomes process variables, and that can be done using custom design in JUMP. Okay, if you look at JUMP DOE, there is a first, that's another variable which I which yeah, Samana University, it's in your hand to can organize we can have it.
Okay. Though, like sir, I was doing the same thing. I was you can look.
Some, I think, internet issue is there.
Okay.
Hello. Yes. Okay, sir. So we are at the end of the session. If anyone will ask the last question, so you can take the last question and we'll go for the valedictory session. Okay, sir. If anybody want to ask the last question of today's session.
Somebody might ask you the feedback form.
I think there is some internet problem from my side.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Your internet has go. Okay. He's off.
So am I audible, right? So am I audible?
Now you're back.
We wind up to the So I
Hello?
Excuse me.
Mobile से try कर रहे हैं
okay, so thank you, Dr. Muralidhara sir, for such a profound and engaging session. Your insights into AI in pharmaceutical sciences is really valuable. So you have shared many things. Like today, we learn about what is the basic AI and ML, what is NLP, what is LLM, personalized medicine. You have talked about. You talked about that how clinical research analytics are used in this AI, and you also share with us the JMP software, how we can use it for your further research purpose. So now I like to just one second. Yes. So, sir, please accept this certificate of appreciation from PP Savar University as a token of our gratitude and recognition of our invaluable contribution. So thank you again, sir, for accepting our invitation and to share your insights in this area. We really thanks from on behalf of PP Savani University. Thank you again, sir. Now we'll move on to the yes. One second, sir. Like to yes, Muralidhara sir, you want to say something? Lastly,
I just put all of you for the opportunity, and thanks all the participants for their valuable time. And I assume that it was productive, and we'll look forward to connect with you in future in whichever capacity it is. And personal thanks to you, sir, giving us an opportunity in writing it. Okay, yeah. Have a
yes,
great
sir.
rest of the day, and then keep jumping, keep learning. I'll keep that
Yes.
way. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. So now we'll move on to the last section of the 5-day session that is called validatory function. So we will start within 30 seconds. So just be stay tuned. And after the validatory session, we'll share the feedback and attendance link in the chat box. So there is another exciting news for all the participants. I will share the slide. Participant, please be wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Our guest of honor is going to join very shortly, and we will start the validatory session.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, sir. So we'll start shortly our session. Just hold, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome all again. So, we are thrilled to announce that due to enthusiastic and interest and positive feedback received from the participants, so we are continuing our FDP series with a focus on the same advanced theme. So, this time we have chosen to conduct the FDP on optimizing pharmaceutical innovation, AI for research proposal writing, publications, and patents. So stay tuned with us and look out for the final brochure and registration details coming soon. So as we are concluded our enriching faculty development program on harnessing AI to revolutionize pharmaceutical education and research, I am thrilled to reflect on the valuable insights and advancement we have shared. Over the past 5 days, we have equipped with cutting-edge AI tools and methodologies that promise to revolutionize pharmaceutical education and research. So we'll now proceed for the valedictory function. However, let's not view this as an end, but rather than the beginning of future of advancement. We are committed to organizing more advanced session on AI in pharmaceutical research. So today we are honored to have with us our patron of the FDP and registrar of PP7 University, Dr. Satish Biradar sir, and convener and principal Dr. Bhavesh Akbari sir. I invite Dr. Satish sir to address our esteemed participants from pharmaceutical institution across India. Satish sir, please unmute and please address our participants.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Samresh sir. First of all, good afternoon to all of you, respected speakers and the principals from the different institutions and the participants and our faculty members. I congratulate all the participants and special. I would like to congratulate our organizing team. Immense success of this program. So with the wonderful response, we had the 950 participants with this program from the across the India. So it shows that what is the importance of the AI, importance of this topic in the today's digital age. So it shows the importance, and it is clearly stated that there is a strong and growing interest in integrating the AI into the field of pharmaceutical education and research. So looking into this, friends, definitely I can say pharmaceutical sector, AI holds the promising, especially in the drug discovery and improving the patient outcomes. So mainly when we look after the new innovations or drug discovery, so it shows that how it affecting on the patients. What is the status? So it shows the improving the patient outcomes, and also it enhance the efficacy of our educational methodology or teaching methodology. So definitely I can say that in the last 5 days, so we had experts from the different areas. So they have shared their experience and their thoughts, especially in this AI related topics. So I hope this one definitely you will implement in writing, like especially in the paper publications or in the academic writing or patent filing or for the professional growth or personal branding. So even AI is the word now. This is the digital age. So so all are focusing on the AI. So definitely it will be helpful. So in conclusion, I can say that I encourage everyone. So whatever you learned in these 5 days, you need to apply in your respective field. That is important. What we need to involve it, that we need to implement it in your the teaching. So wherever it is required, we need to implement it. That is the important part. So I request everyone that whatever you learn today, that you need to implement it and execute it so that it will be helpful for everyone. So that shows your professional growth and confidence and the competence among the pharmacy faculties, and definitely it will helpful to the students. At the end, I can say I express my gratitude to the esteemed speakers and experts who shared their experience and expertise with us. And also, I express my gratitude to organizing team and the principal of grand success of online FDP program. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Satish sir, for your valuable insights and motivate us with your wonderful words. Thank you again for joining us in this valedictory function. So now,
Thank you, Samresh sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now I request our principal, sir, Dr. Bhavesh Akbari, sir, please for your concluding remarks. Dr. Akbari, please unmute. Yes, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Samresh. Good afternoon, dear all. Respected Dr. Satish sir, Registrar of PP Savani EMT. Today's esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Muralidhara A from JMP Global Team, Bangalore. All dear enthusiastic and passionate participants and all dear staff members of PP School of Pharmacy. As we conclude this 5 days national level online faculty development program on harnessing artificial intelligence to revolutionize pharmaceutical education and research. It is a matter of great pride us have received an overwhelming response with the over 960 registration across the India for this online FDP, which is reflecting the program's immense popularity. So I would like to express heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your active participation and engagement during all sessions of the 5 days. Over the past 5 days, we have had a privilege of learning from our esteemed resource persons who have shared their expertise and we have had the privilege of learning from esteemed resource persons who have shared their expertise and insights on various aspects of AI in pharmaceutical education, research, publication writing, and patents. From these AI tools to higher education, to demystifying publication writing, patents, AI, and machine learning. Artificial intelligence for professional growth, implementation of data, and artificial intelligence empowered research. We have covered a wide range of topics from our esteemed guest speakers. So this EFDP has not only enhanced our knowledge about the AI, but also inspired us to explore the potential of artificial intelligence in our teaching, research, publication, and professional practices. We hope that the connection made and ideas generated during this program will lead to meaningful collaboration and innovation in the coming future. So I am expecting your participation in our upcoming specific AI domain event in the future. And let us build on the momentum generated during this event program and work together to shape the future of pharmaceutical education and research. So before I concluding my speech, it's my heartfelt thanks to our today's expert guest speaker, Dr. Muralidhara A sir, for sparing his time from busy schedule and sharing his valuable insights on artificial intelligence in pharma. My special thanks to our beloved Registrar Sir for gracing us with his presence. Your support and encouragement mean a lot to Team Pharmacy. It's my heartfelt thanks to management of PP Savani, Knowledge City, Professor, Registrar Sir for your motivation and providing resources to organize this EFDP and making this event a grand success. Once again, I thank you all participants for being part of this EFDP. It's my special gratitude towards all participants and each and every one of you. Last but not the least, I also appreciate all efforts made by Program Coordinator, Mr. Samresh, and entire team Pharmacy for your best efforts and making this event a grand success. So once again, and all, Mr. Samresh, hand over to you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful words. I think we will definitely go with the same theme in upcoming events and we'll share the knowledge with the guest speaker in the field of AI in healthcare as well as pharmaceutical science. Now, with this, I like to invite my colleague, Dr. Vimal Patel, Associate Professor of School of Pharmacy, PP Savani University, to share the word of thanks. Vimal.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Everyone,
Yes.
greetings from the School of Pharmacy to all my colleagues and honored guests. It gives me an immense pleasure to address the gathering on the occasion of validity of our national level online FDP harnessing artificial intelligence to revolutionize pharmaceutical education and research. This is here to reflect our unwavering commitment to innovation and excellence in the field of pharmaceutical education. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to our Chief Patron, Dr. Parek Sangani sir, and our patron as well as Registrar of the PPSU University, Dr. Satish Biradar, for their visionary leadership and continuous support. The guidance has been instrumental in making this event very much possible. I would like to extend my sincerest thanks to the convener of this program, Dr. Bhavesh Akbari, Principal of the School of Pharmacy, and the convener, Samresh Paulroy, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy, and myself as well as Mr. Jai Kukadia, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy. Your dedication and tireless effort have ensured that this EFDP is not only well organized but rich in the content and the value as well. A special mention goes to our esteemed resource person, Thomas sir, Muralidhara Murthy sir, Saran sir, Swayam Prakash sir, and Sunny sir. Your expertise and willingness to share your knowledge have a greatly enriched in this program. We are deeply grateful for your contribution and for taking time for guide our participants through the intricacies of AI in pharmaceutical education and research. Now, to our participants, thank you all for your enthusiasm and engagement throughout this 5 days journey. Your commitment to learning and adapting to a new technologies is commendable. I am confident
नहीं. Am I audible? I think there is some issue with the internet. So, thank you, Vimal sir, for your vote of thanks, and we really appreciate all the participants for your active participation during these events. I want, if any participants want to share something for this FDP, you can please unmute and say something. Any participants from the audience who like to share your feedback, please, we'll happy to listen from you.
Hello.
Yes, yes. And all the participants are requested, please, you can open your video so that we can see you. All the participants, please open your cam. So now I like to request any participants who like to share something.
Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, sir, please.
Very good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Ashwini Mishra, Assistant Professor at Narsimhaji Institute of Management, School of Pharmacy, Maharashtra. For me, this event was really an amazing and learning experience where I got to know about so many new things related to artificial intelligence and how we can empirically apply it in the execution of the research which is being conducted in universities. Apart from it, the way in one of the session where patent searching was actually practically taught, where how by utilizing a simple canvas or a software we can even go for a depth analysis of the patents which are available, and some of them which can definitely be utilized to find out whether your research has got vital potential to get patented or not. that was again a huge help for the researchers or the pharmacy fraternity, because that's how like the chances of accepting the patent will be much more. Apart from it, whatever the learnings we have got from other esteemed speakers, in which like we came to know about different tools which can be utilized in writing research paper, in review paper writing, and along with in sending the proposal for funding in different central government organization. That was again one of the cherry on the cake. So ultimately, I congratulate the whole team for such an knowledgeful and informative session where we learn not only through the PPTs and the knowledge of the speaker, but from these case studies which has been actually explaining while conducting the session. It was really a huge help for each and everyone. So thank you a lot. One request I do have, that though like throughout the country these kind of conferences are being organized, and some of them are going up to the extent you people have gone where we got empirical knowledge. Apart from it, I do have a request that whenever these kind of conferences are conducted, there must be a group which could be formed virtually by utilizing WhatsApp or some other way, where like researchers who really wanted to do something after learning something, they could come together on a platform, and then they can create something which is really fruitful for the pharmacy profession. Because learning is one thing, another thing, execution of the thing is another thing, and developing a product or probably outcome from it is different thing. So I think that if it will be empirically or systematically followed, then definitely we, being the Indian pharmacy people, will definitely be having much more outcome in pharmaceutical field, and then definitely we will be having some more wings to fly up to the extent in Zenith. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your positive response and feedback. I really appreciate that you have attended all the sessions and you have taken a notes. And as you suggested that, yes, we can use these tools for our future research and we can collaborate also. So this kind of conferences really help us to collaborate with the same liking people and we can do. Like yesterday, you have seen that Dr. Sam Prakash Patel has received 45 lakh grant by using AI only. He have developed something, and like that also we can start working on AI for our pharmaceutical background, and definitely we can do something. Imagine or magic in this area. Anybody who would like to share something? Any participant again? If anybody want to share something, please you can unmute and share.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Ranif Thakur, Resident Professor in Government College of Pharmacy, Road, Shimla.
Yes, sir, please.
It's a very knowledgeable, valuable FDP. I have learned many more things from this FDP, and also I have joined very FDP regarding AI tools. But this is the one of the best FDP which I have observed that thing. And all the speakers are very valuable and knowledgeable in our personality. I enjoy it a lot. And one little request is that, if possible, please share video link or PPTs if possible. And also in next, I will also try to in December your FT I will try to join that thing. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure, sir. We have received a lots of requests to share the videos. So we are going to share all the videos in a form of YouTube. So very soon you will get the link. Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello. Yes, sir. Please tell me.
Sir, I am Mukesh Sonia from SKD College of Pharmacy, Hanumangarh, Rajasthan.
Yes, sir. Please.
And I learned a lot of things from last 5 days. During these sessions, sometimes I miss some of the points because of regular class and college works. So I request you kindly share the recording of these whole 5 days.
Sure, sir. Sure. We'll definitely share the recordings. So we'll get it very soon, maybe by tomorrow morning or today afternoon. So let's upload the video in the YouTube and the link will be shared. Okay. All the 5-day link, you will get it, sir. Okay, anything else?
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
Any participants, if you want to share your valuable feedback? So there are a few participants are asking to share the
Next
upcoming December events. Yes, I'm going to share the same. Just give me a second.
Sir, can I share my views?
Yes.
Sure. So this is the upcoming event, what we are planning on December. So this time we are planning to emphasize on research proposal writing also, because most of us in academician, we are not having that kind of knowledge how to write proposals for grant or DST, DBT, and so on. So this time we are going to get some good expert who has received more than 1 or 2 crore grant from this kind of government of India grant agency. So we are going to invite those speakers. Even also we are invite some speakers from outside of India. So there are some speakers out there in Australia and USA. They are also we have communicated recently. They have also agreed to share their knowledge in publication and patents. So maybe I will get 1 or 2 speaker from outside this time on our upcoming EFDP. So please stay tuned with us. And
one or two speakers are from NIPER also. We are in a talk with them. So they are also joining in next FDP. They are from NIPER.
Yes. So this is all for our upcoming FDP. Yes, ma'am, you like to share something, feedback? Ma'am, want to share something, feedback?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Basavaraj from Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, over the past 5 days, actually, I had an opportunity to delve into the transformative potential of AI in the realm of pharmaceutical education and research. All these sessions were thoughtfully curated to address the current trends, challenges, and future directions in this rapidly evolving fields. So definitely, I am confident that the knowledge which was shared by the experts and the skills gained during this program will definitely empower me as well as our colleagues also who had participated to make a significant stride in our respective areas of expertise. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizing committee from the School of Pharmacy at PP Savni University for their meticulous planning and execution of this program. Sir, your hard work and dedication have made this event really knowledgeable and success. Sir, also, I would like to thank our distinguished speakers and experts who have shared their invaluable insights and experiences. Thank you very much, sir. And we would like to also look forward for such programs from your university, and definitely we would like to participate. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your insights and your positive feedback. It's a lot for us. It will going to boost up to come up with this kind of sessions in futures. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all, dear participants, for your active engagement and participation at this national level EFDP. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. So we are at the end. So we'll conclude our session here. Thank you once again, all the participants who have joined. And we really heartfully thanks from our side on behalf of PP7 University. We are really a great thank you to all the participants. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ranil Thakur साहब GCP रोड से है ना?
Yes, sir. Sure.
मिले तो थे अपने
रोड से सर शिमला रोड।
सरकारी स्कूल है
कैसे हो सर? बढ़िया सर, बढ़िया। आप बताइए सर, ठीक है?
बहुत आनंद